And when they were come in, they went up into an upper room. They went up into an upper room. And when they were come in, they went up into an upper room. They went up into an upper room.
Society.
Lion of Judah shall break every chain.
When they were come in, they went up into an upper room. They went up into an upper room.
Lion of Judah Society.
When they were come in, they went up into an upper room. They went up into an upper room.
Yes. Shalom, peace to those who love peace. No peace to the wicked. Greetings. Yeshua shalom. Shalom, Chabarim. Shalom, this is Yadin right here for tonight's podcast. Yeah. Well, seasons, generally speaking, greetings, particularly speaking, Hanukkah. Keep up the Maccabee fight for the true light of the King of Kings Christ. So right here for the Upper Room of Zion. Here, the Upper Room of Zion podcast.
For with stammering lips and another tongue. For with stammering lips and another tongue. For with stammering lips and stammering lips and stammering lips to this peace. For with stammering lips and another tongue and another tongue to this peace. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people. To whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing. Yet they would not hear.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Hear, O Israel, hear, O Israel. What does Shema Yisrael, Yahweh Eloheinu, Yahweh Echad? Hear, O Israel, hear, O Israel. The Lord, our God, the Lord is one. What does that really mean? And why is it important?
Oh The people is called by thy name would turn from their wicked ways. Call upon the one name. You said that you would answer. The 12 tribes you would gather from the lands where you have scattered. When will this happen? Holy Mount Zion, Mount Zion, Mount Zion. Oh, how I love you. Oh, how I love you. Holy Mount Zion, Mount Zion, Mount Zion. Oh, how I long for you. Can't you hear the voice of the mamas weeping? The blood of our sons is speaking. Them cutting them down like dogs in the streets. Heavenly Father, we need your mercy.
Marching and protesting like in the civil rights movement, boycotting, burning, rioting, and looting. Who would have thought after 400 years of persecution we still be left with just temporary solutions? Hearts of mankind that's grown cold. This freedom song is getting so old. It's time we get on our knees and pray. Return to the Most High and change our wicked ways.
Holy Mount Zion, Mount Zion, Zion, Zion. Oh, how I love you. Oh, how I love you. Holy Mount Zion, Mount Zion, 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 Zion. Oh, how I long for you. You said that in the last days, the people is called by thy name would turn from their wicked ways. Call upon the one name. You said that you would answer. The 12 tribes you would gather from the lands where you have scattered. When will this happen? Holy Mount Zion, Mount Zion, Mount Zion, Zion. Oh, how I love you. Oh, how I love you. Holy Mount Zion, Mount Zion, Mount Zion. Oh, how I long for you.
The time of Jacob's trouble has arrived. Leave Babylon behind. Lift up your voice and sound the trumpet for its great demise. Back to the motherland, back to the covenant, back to our roots and our culture. Man, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. The time of Jacob's trouble has arrived. Leave Babylon behind.
You know the high priest of the Malabian order, so we can't end with two chants. We have to seal the first nation. Each and every day. So high and
When the sons and daughters look around and see the wondrous thing that Jah done around, the birds of the puppies in a cool place of rest, and even the waters flow, and the shining rainbow beyond the frosty clouds. You know, Jah alone can give us satisfaction. Fill our heart with love, people of creation. Jah alone can give us satisfaction. Fill our heart with love. Nothing is wrong that Jah made. Everything is perfect, and He leads the way all day. Jah is all I need to make everything that's going like you read. Jah alone can give us satisfaction. Fill our heart with love. Jah alone can give us satisfaction. Fill our heart with love. Jah know it's true. Jah alone can give us satisfaction to satisfy my soul.
And when they were come in, they went up into an upper room. They went up into an upper room.
Here, here, Upper Room of Zion. Winston Francis here. Let's go to Zion.
Oh yeah. Let's go to Zion. Let's go to Zion. Let's go to Zion. Let's go to Zion. I'm going home. Zion is the only place where there is love and harmony. Zion is the only place where there is justice and equality. So let's go to Zion. Let's go to Zion. Let's go to Zion. I'm going home. Going home. Yeah. Rasta never let you down in Zion. Zion is the holy place. Yes, Zion. That's why I'm going home to Zion. Zion is the only place, yes, Zion, where there is love, peace, and harmony, yeah, where men can love each other. That's why I'm going home to Zion. Oh yeah. Let's go home to Zion. Let's go home to Zion. Let's go home to Zion.
went up into an upper room. They went up into an upper room. Upper room. Upper room. Upper room. Upper room. When they were come in, they went up into an upper room. They went up into an upper room. Upper room. Upper room. Upper room. Whom shall he teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breasts. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. For with stammering lips and another tongue will he speak to this people, to whom he said, This is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest, and this is the refreshing. Yet they would not hear. But the word of the Lord was unto them precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken. Wherefore hear the word of the Lord, 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 hear the word of the Lord.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Vayigash, 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 Vayigash. And here, Shema Yisrael, here. Hebrew first words here for the 11th Torah portion, reading, feeding for this Rastafari sabbatical study, for this Shabbat strong, Shabbat Vayigash, Sabbath, and he came near and he drew near. Here, picking up with the first book of Moshe, the Hebrew book called Genesis, here from the Sefer Bereshith. Here we pick up with Genesis chapter 44, here at verse 18, for the Hebrew first words right here. Vayigash elayo Yehuda, Vayomer bi Adoni, Yedaberna abdeka davara bi ozeneya Adoni. Allah yichara apika bi abdeka kia kamoka k faro. Then Judah came near to him and said, O Adoni, O my Lord, make thy servant, I pray that I speak a word in Adoni's ears, in my Lord's ears, and make not thine anger burn against thy servant, for thou, I art, even as Pharaoh. Hebrew first words here. Vayigash, and he came near. Vayigash elayo Yehuda, then Judah, and came near to him Yehuda. Vayigash elayo Yehuda, then Judah came near to him. Vayomer, and said, Bi Adoni Idaberna abdeka deka.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad. Adonai Echad.
Yeah. Rastafari.
Emancipate your minds to take control.
Listen.
About to the boss may not play the role. The book of life was written on a scroll.
Rastafari.
Finish the chapter is our goals. Yeah.
You don't get what man say?
When you get not delusion, we got to fighting for their solution.
What?
The substitution and convolution. What we need now is revolution.
Boom.
Yeah.
Seriously.
One drop of knowledge to feed my crop.
Yeah.
Why do we live blind upon a mountain top?
Like
Reggae motion could never, ever, ever be stopped.
Never.
Only rock for pillow on the cold side. Walk.
Yes, my lord. Rastafari. Lion meditation.
So we cannot confusion, we cannot delusion. We got to
Hey, say we no bow in a Babylon. Say we no bow to confusion. Rasta stand like a lion in the nation. Say we no bow and to miss and dirty pagan. There is who we stand firm. Say we no bow in a Babylon world. Meditation in a me heart. That's why we come on the land. Selassie bless I your meditation. Tell me if you light up the Chalawanga man. Say the pagan them a see me pon the land. And them a want stop this Jabba man. But me a carry meditation we strong. And I a lyric it a lick Babylon. Say when them a see me them a say who that one. Say I and I that the Rasta man. Book of life. You know here. The book of life. Natural, see it? Now here it is. So we don't deal with Ptolemy concept. And we don't deal with Soter. We deal with the ancients of ancients. Rastafari. Say Babylon not like me mediate. They want put me in a prison everywhere. But you the blessing of the Most High. Me a go get away every single day. Say Babylon want feed me bad food. But I tell them and them a bloody rude. So me a eat up the natural food. That's why this papa man a strong, strong ooh. Yeah, I don't like it. Yeah man, reggae motion. You know feel the vibration. Yeah.
Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, and the lifting up of my hands as the evening sacrifice. 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 Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense. For 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 thee. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense. As incense. Before thee as incense. As incense. As incense, as incense, as incense, as incense, as incense, and the lifting up of my hands as the evening sacrifice. The evening sacrifice. Evening sacrifice.
Lion of Judah shall break every chain.
The legend in person. One of the world's best known figures and faces, and one that most of us know least about. Father figure of modern Africa and relic of a vanishing world. Feudal despot and reforming monarch, one of the last claimants to the divine right of kings, the legendary descendant of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba. His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie I, conquering lion of the tribe of Judah, elect of God, King of kings, Emperor of Ethiopia.
Testament of Judah, the fourth son of Jacob and Leah. The copy of the words of Judah. The Testament of Judah, the fourth son of Jacob and Leah. The copy of the words of Judah. What things he spake to his sons before he died. The Testament of Judah, the fourth son of Jacob and Leah. The copy of the words of Judah. What things he spake to his sons before he died. They gathered themselves together, therefore, and came to him. And he said to them, Hearken, my children, to Judah, your father. I was the fourth son born to my father Jacob, and Leah, my mother, named me Judah, saying, I give thanks to Yahweh, because he hath given me a fourth son also. I was swift in my youth, and obedient to my father in everything. and I honored my mother and my mother's sister. And it came to pass, when I became a man, that my father blessed me, saying, Thou shalt be a king, prospering in all things. And Yahweh showed me favor in all my works, both in the field and in the house. I know that I raised a hind and caught it and prepared the meat for my father, and he did eat. And I rose, I used to master in the chase, and overtake all that was in the plains. A wild mare I overtook, and caught it, and tamed it. I slew a lion, and plucked a kid out of its mouth. I took a bear by its paw, and hurled it down the cliff, and it was crushed. I outran the wild boar, and seizing it as I ran, I tore it in sunder. A leopard in Hebron leaped upon my dog, and I caught it by the tail and hurled it on the rocks, and it was broken in twain. I found a wild ox feeding in the fields, and seizing it by the horns, and whirling it around and stunning it, I cast it from me and slew it. And when the 2 kings of the Canaanites came sheathed in armor against our flocks, and much people with them, single-handed I rushed upon the king of Hazor, and smote him on the greaves, and dragged him down, and so I slew him. And the other king, the king of Tupal, as he sat upon his horse, I slew, and so I scattered all his people. Achor, the king, a man of giant stature, I found hurling javelins before and behind as he sat on horseback. And I took up a stone of 60 pounds weight, and hurled it, and smote his horse, and killed it. And I fought with this other for 2 hours. And I clave his shield in twain, and I chopped off his feet, and killed him. And as I was stripping off his breastplate, behold, 9 men, his companions, began to fight with me. And I wound my garment on my hand, and I slung stones at them, and killed 4 of them, and the rest fled. And Jacob my father slew Beelsath, king of all the kings, a giant in strength, 12 cubits high. And fear fell upon them, and they ceased warring against us. Therefore my father was flee from anxiety in the wars when I was with my brethren. For he saw in a vision concerning me that an angel of might followed me everywhere, that I should not be overcome. And in the south there came upon us a greater war than that in Shechem. And I joined in battle, arrayed with my brethren, and pursued 1,000 men, and slew of them 200 men and 4 kings. And I went up upon the wall, and slew 4 mighty men. And so we captured Hazor, and took all the spoil. And the next day we departed to Eritan, a strong city, walled and inaccessible, threatening us with death. But I and Gad approached on the east side of the city, and Reuben and Levi on the west. And they that were upon the wall, thinking that they were alone, were drawn down against us. And so my brothers secretly climbed up the wall on both sides by stakes, and entered the city, while the men knew it not. And we took it with the edge of the sword. And as for those who had taken refuge in the tower, we set fire to the tower and took both it and them. And as we were departing, the men of Tapah seized our spoil. And seeing this, we fought with them, and we slew them all and recovered our spoil. And when I was at the waters of Kozeba, the men of Jobel came against us to battle. And we fought with them and routed them. And their allies from Shiloh we slew. And we did not leave them power to come in against us. And the men of Machir came upon us the 5th day to seize our spoil. And we attacked them and overcame them in fierce battle. For there was a host of mighty men against them, and we slew them before they had gone up the ascent. And when we came to their city, their women rolled upon us stones from the brow of the hill on which the city stood. And I and Simeon had ourselves behind the town, and seized upon the heights, and destroyed this city also. And the next day it was told us that the king of the city of Gash with a mighty host was coming against us. I, therefore, and Dan feigned ourselves to be Amorites, and as allies went into their city. And in the depth of night our brethren came, and we opened to them the gates, and we destroyed all the men and their substance, and we took for prey all that was theirs, and their 3 walls we cast down. And we drew near to Thamah, where was all the substance of the hostile kings. Then, being insulted by them, I was therefore wroth, and rushed against them to the summit. And they kept slinging against me stones and darts. And had not Dan my brother aided me, they would have slain me. We came upon them, therefore, with wrath, and they all fled. And passing by another way, they fought my father, and he made peace with them. And we did to them no hurt. And they became tributary to us, and we restored to them their spoil. And I built Thamah, and my father built Pebaal. I was 20 years old when this war befell, and the Canaanites feared me and my brethren. And I had much cattle, and I had for chief herdsman Uram the Adullamite. And when I went to him, I saw Parsaba, king of Adullam, and he spake unto us, and he made us a feast. And when I was heated, he gave me his daughter Bathshua to wife. She bare me and Onan and Shelah. The 2 of them Yahweh smote. For Shelah lived, and his brethren, his children, are ye. And 18 years my father abode in peace with his brother Esau, and his sons with us. After that we came from Mesopotamia, from Laban. And when 18 years were fulfilled, in the 40th year of my life, Esau, the brother of my father, came upon us with a mighty and strong people. And Jacob smote Esau with an arrow, and he was taken up wounded on Mount Seir. And as he went, he died at Anon Niram. And we pursued after the sons of Esau, Now they had a city with walls of iron and gates of brass, and we could not enter into it. And we encamped around and besieged it. And when they opened not to us in 20 days, I set up a ladder in the sight of all, and with my shield upon my head I went up, sustaining the assault of stones, upwards of 3 talents weight, and I slew 4 and their mighty men. And Reuben and Gad slew 6 others. Then they asked from us terms of peace, and having taken counsel with our father, we received them as tributaries. And they gave us 500 cores of wheat, 100 baths of oil, 500 measures of wine, until the famine, when we went down into Egypt. And after these things my son took to wife Tamar from Mesopotamia, a daughter of Aram. Now was wicked, and he was in need concerning Tamar, because she was not of the land of Canaan. And on the 3rd night an angel of Yahweh smote him, and he had not known her according to the evil craftiness of his mother, for he did not wish to have children by her. In the days of the wedding feast I gave Onan to her in marriage, and he also in wickedness knew her not, though she spent with her a year. And when I threatened him, he went unto her, but he spilled the seed on the ground, according to the command of his mother, and he also died through wickedness. And I wished to give Shelah also to her, but his mother did not permit it. For she wrought evil against Tamar, because she was not the daughters of Canaan, and she also herself was. And I knew that the race of the Canaanites was wicked, but the impulse of youth blinded my mind. And when I saw her pouring out wine, owing to the intoxication of wine, I was deceived, and took her, although my father had not counseled it. And while I was away, she went and took for Shelah a wife from Canaan. And when I knew what she had done, I cursed her in the anguish of my soul. And she also died through her wickedness, together with her sons. And after these things, while Tamar was a widow, she heard after 2 years that I was going up to shear my sheep, and adorned herself in bridal array, and sat in the city Edom by the gate. For it was a law of the Amorites that she who was about to marry should sit in fornication 7 days by the gate. Therefore, being drunk with wine, I did not recognize her, and her beauty deceived me through the fashion of her adorning. And I turned aside to her, and said, Let me go in unto thee. And she said, What wilt thou give me? And I gave her my staff, and my girdle, and the diadem of my kingdom in pledge. And I went in unto her, and she conceived. And not knowing what I had done, I wished to slay her. But she privily sent me pledges, and put me to shame. And when I called her, I heard also the secret words which I spoke when lying with her in my drunkenness. And I could not slay her, because it was from Yahweh. For I said, Less haply she did it in subtlety, having received the pledge from another woman. But I came not again near her while I lived, because I had done this abomination in all Israel. Moreover, they who were in the city said there was no harlot in the gate, because she came from another place and sat for a while in the gate. And I thought that no one knew that I had gone into her. And after this we came into Egypt to Joseph because of the famine. And I was 46 years old, and 73 years lived I in Egypt. And now I command you, my children, hearken to Judah, your father, and keep my sayings to perform all the ordinances of Yahweh, and to obey the commands of Yahweh, and walk not after your lust, nor in the imaginations of your thoughts and haughtiness of heart, and glory not in the deeds and strength of your youth. For this also is evil in the eyes of Yahweh. Since I also gloried that in wars no comely woman's face ever enticed me, and reproved Reuben my brother concerning Bilhah, the wife of my father. The spirits of jealousy and of fornication arrayed themselves against me, until I lay with Bathsheba the Canaanite, and Tamar, who was espoused to my sons. For I said to my father-in-law, I will take counsel with my father, and so will I take thy daughter. And he was unwilling, but she showed with a boundless store of gold in his daughter's behalf, for B was a king. And he adorned her with gold and pearls, and caused her to pour out wine for us at the feast with the beauty of women. And the wine turned aside my eyes, and pleasure blinded my heart. And I became enamored of, and I lay with her, and transgressed the commandment of Yahweh, and the commandment of my fathers, and I took her to wife. And Yahweh rewarded me according to the imagination of my heart, inasmuch as I had no joy in her children. And now, my children, I say unto you, be not drunk with wine, for wine turneth the mind away from the truth, and inspires the passion of lust, and leadeth the eyes into error. For the spirit of fornication hath wine as a minister, to give pleasure to the mind. For these two also take away the mind of man. For if a man drink wine to drunkenness, it disturbeth the mind with filthy thoughts leading to fornication, and heateth the body to carnal union. And if the occasion of the lust be present, he worketh the sin, and is not ashamed. Such is the inebriated man. Children, for he who is drunken reverenceth no man. For lo, it made me also to err, so that I was not ashamed of the multitude in the city, and that before the eyes of all I turned aside unto Tamar. And I wrought a great sin, and I uncovered the covering of my son's shame. After I had drunk wine, I reverenced not the commandment of Yahweh, and I took a woman of Canaan to wife. For much discretion needeth the man who drinketh wine, my children, and herein is discretion in drinking wine. A man may drink so long as he preserveth modesty, but if he go beyond this limit, the spirit of deceit attacketh his mind, and it maketh the drunkard to talk filthily, and to transgress, and not be ashamed, but even to glory in his shame, and to no account himself honorable. He that committeth fornication is not aware when he suffers loss, and is not ashamed when put to dishonor. For even though a man may be a king and commit fornication, he is stripped of his kingship by becoming the slave of fornication. as I myself also suffered. For I gave my staff, that is, the stay of my tribe, and my girdle, that is, my power, and my diadem, that is, the glory of my kingdom. And indeed I repented of these things. Wine and flesh I eat not until my old age, nor did I behold any joy. And the angel of Yahweh showed me that forever do women bear rule over king and beggar alike. And from the king they take away his glory, and from the valiant man his might, and from the beggar even that little which is the stay of his poverty. Observe therefore, my children, the right lemon and wine, for there are in it 4 evil spirits of lust, of hot desire, of profligacy, of filthy lucre. If ye drink wine in gladness, be ye modest in the fear of Yahweh. For if in your gladness the fear of Yahweh departeth, then drunkenness ariseth, and shamelessness stealeth in. But if ye would live soberly, do not touch wine at all, lest ye sin in words of outrage, and in fightings, and slanders, and transgressions of the commandments of Yahweh, and ye perish before your time. Moreover, wine revealeth the mysteries of Yahweh in men, even as I also revealed the commandments of Yahweh and the mysteries of Jacob my father to the Canaanitish woman Bathsheba, which Yahweh bade me not to reveal. And wine is a cause both of war and confusion. And now I command you, my children, do not love money, nor to gaze upon the beauty of women, because for the sake of money and beauty I was led astray to Bathsheba the Canaanite. For I know that because of these 2 things shall my race fall into wickedness. For even wise men among my sons shall they mar, and shall cause the kingdom of Judah to be diminished, which Yahweh gave me because of my obedience to my father. For I never caused grief to Jacob, my father. For all things whatsoever he commanded, I did. And Isaac, the father of my father, blessed me to be king in Israel. And Jacob further blessed me in like manner. And I know that from me shall the kingdom be established. And I know that evils ye will do in the last days. Beware, therefore, my children, of fornication and the love of money, and hearken to Judah your father. For these things withdraw off from the law of Yahweh, and blind the inclination of the soul, and teach arrogance, and suffer not a man to have compassion upon his neighbor. They rob his soul of all goodness, and oppress him with toils and troubles, and drive away sleep from him, and devour his flesh. And he hindereth the sacrifices of Yahweh, and he remembereth not the blessing of Yahweh. He hearkeneth not to a prophet when he speaketh, and resenteth the words of godliness. For he is a slave to 2 contrary passions, and cannot obey Yahweh, because they have blinded his soul, and he walketh in the day as in the night. My children, the love of money leadeth to idolatry, because when led astray through money, men name as gods those who are not gods, and it causeth him who haveth to fall into madness. For the sake of money I lost my children, And had not my repentance and my humiliation and the prayers of my father been accepted, I should have died childless. But the God of my fathers had mercy on me, because I did it in ignorance. And the prince of deceit blinded me, and I sinned as a man and as flesh, being corrupted through sins. And I learnt my own weakness, while thinking myself invincible. Know therefore, my children, that two spirits wait upon man, the spirit of truth and the spirit of deceit. And in the midst is the spirit of understanding of the mind, to which it belongeth to turn whithersoever it will. And the works of truth and the works of deceit are written upon the hearts of men, and each one of them Yahweh knoweth. And there is no time at which the works of men can be hid. For on the heart itself have they been written down before Yahweh. And the spirit of truth testifieth all things, and accuseth all. And the sinner is burnt up by his own heart, and cannot raise his face to the judge. And now, my children, I command you, love Levi, that ye may abide, and exalt not yourselves against him. Yes, ye be utterly destroyed. For to me Yahweh gave the kingdom, and to him the priesthood. And he set the kingdom beneath the priesthood. To me he gave the things upon the earth, to him the things in the heavens. As the heaven is higher than the earth, so is the priesthood of Yahweh higher than the earthly kingdom, unless it falls away through sin from Yahweh and is dominated by the earthly kingdom. For the angel of Yahweh said unto me, Yahweh chose him rather than thee, to draw near to him, and to eat of his table, and to offer him the first fruits of the choice things of the sons of Israel. But thou shalt be king of Jacob, and thou shalt be amongst them as the sea. For as on the sea just and unjust are tossed about, some taken into captivity, while some are enriched, so also shall every race of men be in thee. Some shall be impoverished, being taken captive, and others grow rich by plundering the possessions of others. For the kings shall be as sea monsters, they shall swallow men like fishes. The sons and daughters of freemen shall they enslave. Houses, lands, flocks, money shall they plunder. And with the flesh of many shall they wrongfully feed the ravens and the cranes. And they shall advance in evil and covetousness, uplifted, and there shall be false prophets like tempest, and they shall persecute all righteous men. And Yahweh shall bring upon them divisions one against another. And there shall be continual wars in Israel. And among men of another race shall my kingdom be brought to an end, until the salvation of Israel shall come, until the appearing of Yahweh of righteousness, that Jacob and all the Gentiles may rest in peace. And he shall guard the might of my kingdom forever. For Yahweh aware to me with an oath that he would not destroy the kingdom from my seed forever. Now I have much grief, my children, because of your lewdness and witchcrafts and idolatries, which ye shall practice against the kingdom, following them that have familiar spirits, diviners, and demons of error. Ye shall make your daughters singing girls and harlots, and ye shall mingle in the abominations of the Gentiles. For which things' sake Yahweh shall bring upon you famine and pestilence, death and the sword, beleaguering by enemies and rivalings of friends, the slaughter of children, the rape of wives, the plundering of possessions, the burning of the new temple of Yahweh, the laying waste of the land, the enslavement of yourselves among the Gentiles. And they shall make some of you eunuchs for their wives, until Yahweh visit you, when with perfect heart ye repent and walk in all his commandments, and he bring you up from captivity among the Gentiles. And after these things shall a star arise to you from Jacob in peace. And a man shall arise from my seed, like the Son of Righteousness, walking with the sons of men in meekness and righteousness, and no sin shall be found in him. And the heavens shall be opened unto him, to pour out the Spirit, even the blessing of the Holy Father. And he shall pour out the Spirit of grace upon you, and ye shall be unto him sons in truth, and ye shall walk in his commandments first and last. Then shall the scepter of my kingdom shine forth, and from your root shall arise a stem, and from it shall grow a rod of righteousness to the Gentiles, to judge and to save all that call upon Yahweh. And after these things shall Abraham and Isaac and Jacob arise unto life, and I and my brethren shall be chiefs of the tribes of Israel. Levi first, I the second, Joseph third, Benjamin fourth, Simeon fifth, Issachar sixth, and so all in order. And Yahweh blessed Levi, and the angel of the presence me, the powers of glory Simeon, the heavens Reuben, the earth Issachar, the sea Zebulun, the mountains Joseph, the tabernacle Benjamin, the luminaries Dan, Eden, Naphtali the sun, Gad the moon, and Asher. And ye shall be the people of Yahweh, and have one tongue, and there shall be no spirit of deceit of Beliar, for he shall be cast into the fire forever. And they who have died in grief shall arise in joy, and they who were poor for Yahweh's sake shall be made rich. And they who are put to death for Yahweh's sake shall awake to life. And the hearts of Jacob shall run in joyfulness, and the eagles of Israel shall fly in gladness, and all the people shall glorify Yahweh forever. Observe therefore, my children, all the law of Yahweh, for there is hope for all them who hold fast unto his ways. And he said to them, Behold, I die before your eyes this day, 119 years old. Let no one bury me in costly apparel, nor tear open my bowels, for this shall they who are kings do. And carry me up to Hebron with you. And Judah, when he had said these things, fell asleep, and his sons did according to all whatsoever he commanded them. And they buried him in Hebron with his fathers.
And when they were come in, they went up into an upper room. They went up into an upper room.
Yes. Shalom, Chaverim. Here, this 11th sabbatical study, Shabbat Strong, Wayigash, and Judah drew near. Judah drew near to the man Haish that he didn't know was his brother. So right there, that was a testament the testament, from the testament of the 12 patriarchs, the testament of Yehuda, the testament of Judah. In this Torah portion, we have Judah, right, continuing from the previous, stepping forward to substitute himself, to give himself, as it were, instead of his youngest brother, Benjamin, being taken by this man that he doesn't know is actually his brother that they had sold into Mitzrayim. So it's very interesting right there. Also, the previous Torah reading and feeding, we get we call this like an affidavit of the 12 patriarchs. You can find it in a good copy in Lost Books of the Bible, Forgotten Books of Eden. In that particular book right there, Lost Books. So we have that book right here, Lost Books of the Bible, Forgotten Books of Eden. Also within that, it has 4th Maccabees. Also it has the first part of the book of Adam and Eve, other texts that we study right here. So what do you think about Judah's testimony? We have to go over what Judah said right there, Yehuda, right? But since we're speaking about Judah stepping forward to the disguise Joseph to plead on the behalf of their youngest brother, right? So they really, Judah, he doesn't know that the man, right, is Joseph, but Joseph knows who Yehuda and the rest of his 11 brothers are. Now this is actually what brings out exactly the dream that the brothers, in doing what they did to Joseph, sought to they did say, they didn't say they wanted to stop it, but they said, let's see what become of the dreams. Well, here is what has become of the dream. So let's hear the witnesses here. So we had the witness of Judah who drew near, Vayigash, Yehuda, and Lio. And here let's get the affidavit, the testimony of Joseph. So to Joseph right here, 11 sabbatical studies, Shabbat strong. Let's bring this out right here. Shema Yisrael. Testament of the 12 patriarchs. Heard Judah. Oh, the reader. Give thanks, Jarim, Baraka, Yehuda. Let's get the full name right here. Jarim, Baraka, Yehuda, Ben Israel, Ben Yisrael. For the read right here. So here to the testament of Joseph, right? Since Joseph is basically you can say the star of the show, right? Especially here in the latter part of the first book of Moshe, the Hebrew book that is known as Bereshit. Shema Yisrael, testament of Joseph.
The testament of Joseph, the 11th son of Jacob and Rachel. The copy of the testament of Joseph.
Pause right there. Isn't that interesting? This is the 11th Torah reading and feeding in Joseph. He was the 11th, but he became the first. Again, Shema Yisrael.
The testament of Joseph, the 11th son of Jacob and Rachel. The copy of the testament of Joseph. When he was about to die, he called his sons and his brethren together and said to them, My brethren and my children, hearken to Joseph, the beloved of Israel. Give ear, my sons, unto your father. I have seen in my life envy and death, yet I went not astray, but preserved in the truth of Yahweh. These my brethren hated me, but Yahweh loved me. They wished to slay me, but the God of my fathers guarded me. They let me down into a pit, and the Most High brought me up again. I was sold into slavery, and Yahweh of all made me free. I was taken into captivity, and his strong hand succored me. I was beset with hunger, and Yahweh himself nourished me. I was alone, and Yahweh comforted me. I was sick, and Yahweh visited me. I was in prison, and my God showed favor unto me. In bonds, and he released me. Slandered, and he pleaded my cause. Bitterly spoken against by the Egyptians, and he delivered me. Envied by my fellow slaves, and he exalted me. And this chief captain of Pharaoh entrusted to me his house. And I struggled against a shameless woman, urging me to transgress with her. But the God of Israel, my father, delivered me from the burning flame. I was cast into prison. I was beaten. I was mocked. But Yahweh granted me to find mercy in the sight of the keeper of the prison. For Yahweh doth not forsake them that fear him, neither in darkness, nor in bonds, nor in tribulations, nor in necessities. For Yahweh is not put to shame as a man, nor as the Son of Man is he afraid, nor as one that is earthborn is he weak or affrighted. But in all those things doth he give protection, and in divers ways doth he comfort, though for a little space he departeth to try the inclination of the soul. And 10 temptations he showed me approved, and in all of them I endured. For endurance is a mighty charm, and patience giveth many good things. How often did the Egyptian woman threaten me with death? How often did she give me over to punishment, and then call me back and threaten me? And when I was unwilling to company with her, she said to me, Thou shalt be Lord of me, and all that is in my house, if thou wilt give thyself unto me, and thou shalt be as our master. But I remembered the words of my father, and going into my chamber I wept and prayed unto Yahweh. And I fasted in those 7 years, and I appeared to the Egyptians as one living delicately. For they that fast for Yahweh's sake receive beauty of face. And if Yahweh were away from home, I drank no wine, nor for 3 days did I take my food, but I gave it to the poor and sick. And I sought Yahweh early, and I wept for the Egyptian woman of Memphis. For very unceasingly did she trouble me. For also at night she came to me under pretense of visiting me. And because she had no male child, she pretended to regard me as a son. And for a time she embraced me as a son, and I knew it not. But later she sought to draw me into fornication. And when I perceived it, I sorrowed unto death. And when she had gone out, I came to myself and lamented for her many days, because I recognized her guile and her deceit. And I declared unto her the words of the Most High, if haply she would turn from her evil lust. Often therefore did she flatter me with words as a holy man, and guilefully in her talk praise my chastity before her husband, while desiring to ensnare me when we were alone. For she lauded me openly as chaste, and in secret she said unto me, Fear not, my husband, for he is persuaded concerning thy chastity. For even should one tell him concerning us, he would not believe. Owings to all these things, I lay upon the ground and besought Yahweh. would deliver me from her deceit. And when she had prevailed nothing thereby, she came again to me under the plea of instruction, that she might learn the word of Yahweh. And she said unto me, If thou willest that I should leave my idols, lie with me, and I will persuade my husband to depart from his idols, and we will walk in the law by Yahweh. And I said unto her, Yahweh willeth not that those who reverence him should be in uncleanness, nor doth he take pleasure in them that commit adultery, but in those that approach him with a pure heart and undefiled lips. But she hid her peace, longing to accomplish her evil desire. And I gave myself yet more to fasting and praying, that Yahweh might deliver me from her. And again, at another time, she said unto me, If thou wilt not commit adultery, I will kill my husband by poison and take thee to be my husband. I, therefore, when I heard this, rent my garments and said unto her, Woman, reverence Yahweh and do not this evil deed, lest thou be destroyed. For know indeed that I will declare this thy device unto all men. She therefore, being afraid, besought that I would not declare this device. And she departed, soothing me with gifts, sending to me every delight of the sons of men. And afterward she sent me food mingled with enchantments. And when the eunuch who brought it came, I looked up and beheld a terrible man giving me with the dish a sword, and I perceived that her scheme was to beguile me. And when he had gone out, I wept, nor did I taste that or any other of her food. So then after one day she came to me and observed the food, and said unto me, Why is it that thou hast not eaten of the food? And I said unto her, It is because thou hast filled it with deadly enchantments. And how sayest thou, I come not near to idols, but to Yahweh alone? Now, therefore, know that Yahweh of my father hath revealed unto me by his angel thy wickedness, and I have kept it to convict thee, if haply thou mayest see and repent. But that thou mayest learn that the wickedness of the ungodly hath no power over them that worship Yahweh with chastity. Behold, I will take off it and eat before thee. And having said so, I prayed thus, The God of my fathers and the angel of Abraham be with me, and ate. And when she saw this, she fell upon her face at my feet weeping, and raised her up, and admonished her. And she promised to do this iniquity no more. But her heart was still set upon evil, and she looked around how to ensnare me. And sighing deeply, she became downcast, though she was not sick. And when her husband saw her, he said unto her, Why is thy countenance fallen? And she said unto him, I have a pain at my heart, and the groanings of my spirit oppress me. And so he comforted her, who was not sick. Then accordingly, seizing an opportunity, she rushed unto me while her husband was yet without, and said unto me, I will hang myself, or cast myself over a cliff, if thou wilt not lie with me. And when I saw the spirit of Beliar was troubling her, I prayed unto Yahweh, and said unto her, Why, wretched woman, art thou troubled and disturbed, blinded through sins? Remember that if thou killest thyself, Estel, the concubine of thy husband, thy rival, will beat thy children, and thou wilt destroy thy memorial from off the earth. And she said unto me, Lo, then thou lovest me. Let this suffice me. Only strive for my life and my children, and I expect that I shall enjoy my desire also. But she knew not because of Yahweh I spoke thus, and not because of her. For if a man hath fallen before the passion of a wicked desire and become enslaved by it, even as she, whatever good thing he may hear with regard to that passion, he receiveth it with a view to his wicked desire. I declare, therefore, unto you, my children, that it was about the 6th hour when she departed from me. And I knelt before Yahweh all day and all the night. And about dawn I rose up, weeping the while and praying for a release from her. At last, then she laid hold of my garments, forcibly dragging me to her connection with her. When therefore I saw that in her madness she was holding fast at my garment, I left it behind and fled away naked. In holding fast to the garment, she falsely accused me. And when her husband came, he cast me into prison in his house. And on the morrow, he scourged me and sent me into Pharaoh's prison. And when I was in bonds, the Egyptian woman was oppressed with grief. She came and heard how I gave thanks unto Yahweh, and sang praises in the abode of darkness, and with glad voice rejoiced, glorifying Yahweh that I was derived and delivered from the lustful desire of the Egyptian woman. And often hath she sent unto me, saying, consent to fulfill my desire, and I will release thee from thy bonds, and I will flee thee from the darkness. And not even in thought did I incline unto her. For Yahweh loveth him who in a den of wickedness combines fasting with chastity, rather than the man who in king's chambers combines luxury with license. And if a man liveth in chastity, and desireth also glory, and the Most High knoweth that it is expedient for him, he bestoweth this also upon me. How often, though she were sick, did she come down to me at unlooked for times, and listen to my voice as I prayed. And when I heard her groanings, I held my peace. For when I was in her house, she was wont to bare her arms and breasts and legs, that I might lie with her. For she was very beautiful, splendid, adorned, in order to beguile me. And Yahweh guarded me from her devices. Yea, see, therefore, my children, how great things patience worketh, and prayer with fasting. So ye too, if ye follow after chastity and purity with patience and prayer, with fasting and humility of heart, Yahweh will dwell among you, because he loveth chastity. And wheresoever the Most High dwelleth, even though envy or slavery or slander befalleth a man, Yahweh who dwelleth in him for the sake of his chastity, not only delivereth him from evil, but also exalteth him even as me. For in every way the man is lifted up, whether in deed or in word or in thought. My brethren, know how my Father loved me, and yet I did not exalt myself in my mind, although I was a child. I had the fear of Yahweh in my heart, for I knew that all things would pass away. And I did not raise myself against them with evil intent, but I honored my brethren, and out of respect for them, even when I was being sold, I refrained from telling the Ishmaelites that I was a son of Jacob, a great man and a mighty one. Do ye also, my children, have the fear of Yahweh in all your works before your eyes, and honor your brethren. For everyone who doeth the law of Yahweh shall be loved by him. And when I came to the Enducalopetit with the Ishmaelites, they asked me, saying, Art thou a slave? And I said that I was a home-born slave, that I might not put my brethren to shame. And the eldest of them said unto me, Thou art not a slave, for even thy appearance doth make it manifest. But I said that I was their slave. Now when we came into Egypt, they strove concerning me, which of them should buy me and take me. Therefore it seemed good to all that I should remain in Egypt with the merchant of their trade, until they should return bringing merchandise. And Yahweh gave me favor in the eyes of the merchant, and he entrusted unto me his house. And Yahweh blessed him by my means, and increased him in gold and silver and in household servants. And I was with him 3 months and 5 days. And about that time the Memphian woman, the wife of Pintrophis, came down in a chariot with great pomp, because she had heard from her eunuchs concerning me. And she told her husband that the merchant had become rich by means of a young Hebrew, and they say that he had assuredly been stolen out of the land of Canaan. Now therefore render justice unto him, and take away the youth to thy house, so shall the God of Hebrews bless thee, for grace from heaven is upon him. And Pintrophis was persuaded by her words, and commanded the merchant to be brought, and said unto him, What is this that I hear concerning thee, that thou stealest persons out of the land of Canaan, and sellest them for slaves? But the merchant fell at his feet, and besought him, saying, I beseech thee, my lord, I know not what thou sayest. And Pintrophis said unto him, Whence then is the Hebrew slave? And he said, The Ishmaelites entrusted him unto me until they should return. But he believed him not, but commanded him to be stripped and beaten. And when he persisted in the statement, Pintrophis said, Let the youth be brought. And when I was brought in, I did obeisance to Pintrophis, for he was third in rank of the officers of Pharaoh. And he took me apart from him, and said unto me, Art thou a slave or free? And I said, A slave. And when he said, Whose? And I said, The Ishmaelites. And he said, How? How did thou become their slave? And I said, They bought me out of the land of Canaan. And he said unto me, Truly thou liest. And straightway he commanded me to be stripped and beaten. Now the Memphian woman was looking through a window at me while I was being beaten, for her house was near. And she sent unto him, saying, Thy judgment is unjust, for thou dost punish a free man who hath been stolen, and though he were a transgressor. And when I made no change in my statement, though I was beaten, he ordered me to be in prison, until he said the owners of the boy should come. And the woman said unto her husband, Wherefore dost thou detain the captive and well-born lad in bonds, who ought rather to be set at liberty and be waited upon? For she wished to see me out of desire to sin. But I was ignorant concerning all these things. And he said to her, It is not the custom of the Egyptians to take that which belongeth to others before proof is given. This therefore he said concerning the merchant, but as for the lad, he must be in prison. Now after 24 days came the Ishmaelites, for they had heard that Jacob my father was mourning much concerning me. And they came and said unto me, How is it that thou sayest that thou was a slave? And lo, we have learnt that thou art the son of a mighty man in the land of Canaan, and thy father still mourneth for thee in sackcloth and ashes. When I heard this, my bowels were dissolved, and my heart melted, and I desired greatly to weep, but I restrained myself, that I should not put my brethren to shame. And I said unto them, I know not, I am a slave. Then therefore they took counsel to sell me, that I should not be found in their hands. For they feared my father, lest he should come and execute upon them a grievous vengeance. For they heard that he was mighty with Yahweh and with men. Then said the merchant unto them, Release me from the judgment of Pintrophis. And they came and requested me, saying, Say that thou wast bought by us with money, and he will set us free. Now the Memphian woman said to her husband, Buy the youth. For I hear, said she, that they are selling him. And straightway she sent a eunuch to the Ishmaelites, and asked them to sell me. But since the eunuch would not agree to buy me at their price, he returned, having made trial of them, and made known to his mistress that they asked a large price for their slave. And she sent another eunuch, saying, Even though they demand 2 minas, give them Do not spare the gold, only buy the boy and bring him to me. The eunuch therefore went and gave them 80 pieces of gold, and he received me. But the Egyptian woman, he said, I have given 100. And though I knew this, I held my peace, lest the eunuch should be put to shame. Ye see, therefore, my children, what great things I endured, that I should not put my brethren to shame. Do ye also, therefore, love one another, and with long suffering hide ye one another's faults. For Yahweh delighteth in the unity of brethren, and in the purpose of a heart that takes pleasure in love. And when my brethren came into Egypt, they learnt that I had returned their money unto them, and upbraided them not, and comforted them. And after the death of Jacob my father, I loved them more abundantly, and all things whatsoever he commanded I did very abundantly for them. And I suffered them not to be afflicted in the smallest matter. And all that was in my hand I gave unto them. And their children were my children, and my children as their servants. And their life was my life, and all their suffering was my suffering, and all their sickness was my infirmity. My land was their land, and their counsel my counsel. And I exalted not myself among them in arrogance, because of my worldly glory. But I was among them as one of the least. If ye also therefore walk in the commandments of Yahweh, my children, he will exalt you there, and will bless you with good things forever and ever. And if anyone seeketh to do evil unto you, do well unto him, and pray for him, and ye shall be redeemed of Yahweh from all evil. For, behold, ye see, that out of my humility and long suffering I took unto wife the daughter of the priest of Heliopolis, and 100 talents of gold were given me with her. And Yahweh made them to serve me. And he gave me also beauty as a flower beyond the beautiful ones of Israel. And he preserved unto me old age and strength and beauty, because I was like in all things to Jacob. And hear ye, my children, also the vision which I saw. There were 12 hearts feeding, and the 9 were first dispersed all over the earth. And likewise also the 3. And I saw that from Judah was born a virgin wearing a linen garment, and from her was born a lamb without spot, and on his left hand there was as it were a lion, and all the beasts rushed against him, and the lion overcame them and destroyed them and trod them underfoot. And because of him the angels and men rejoice in all the land. And these things shall come to pass in their season, in the last days. Do ye therefore, my children, observe the commandments of Yahweh, and honor Levi and Judah. For from them shall arise unto you the Lamb of Yahweh, who taketh away the sin of the world, one who saveth all the Gentiles and Israel. For his kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, which shall not pass away. But my kingdom among you shall come to an end as a watcher's hammock, which after the summer disappeareth. For I know that after my death the Egyptians will afflict you, but Yahweh will avenge you, and will bring you into that which he promised to your fathers. But ye shall carry up my bones with you. For when my bones are being taken up thither, Yahweh shall be with you in light, and Beliar shall be in darkness with the Egyptians. And carry ye up Asenath, your mother, to the hippodrome, and near Rachel, your mother, bury her. And when he had said these things, he stretched out his feet and died at a good old age. And all Israel mourned for him, and all Egypt with a great mourning. And when the children of Israel went out of Egypt, they took with them the bones of Joseph, and they buried him in Hebron with his fathers. And the years of his life were 110 years.
Damage music.
Yeah. Father God, you know one thing, no, don't it? We out here like all the time. 6. Protect me while me, I protect myself. Oh Lord, me no left it. My them of pencil and me send them like message for all. When man on no credit, man I call upon you for help me with the enemy. Cause them out there. Many on these streets don't sweet like strawberry. Friday. Man I feel roll with this load upon me every day. Every day. Just protecting myself, so if you see it, now feel nowhere. Father help me. Load with Bible verse and me empty. Can't take me like selfie, Father God bless me. You know how long them a fling and nothing can catch me. Dog for me life sweet like Nestle. We okay. Protect me while me and protect my life. You know what these friend them out and already. Me buy myself a 45. Me prefer stay hungry and full up it belly. For the all when man on no credit, man I call upon you for help me with the enemy. Cause them out there. Many on these streets don't sweet like strawberry. Man I feel roll with this load upon me every day. Every day. Just protecting myself, so if you see it, now feel nowhere. Father help me. Load with Bible verse and me empty. Can't take me like selfie, Father God bless me. You know how long them a fling and nothing can catch me. Dog for me life sweet like Nestle. We okay. Protect me while me and protect my life. You know what these friend them out and already. Me buy myself a 45. Me prefer stay hungry and full up it belly. For the all when man on no credit, man I call upon you for help me with the enemy. Cause them out there. Many on these streets don't sweet like strawberry. Man I feel roll with this load upon me every day. Every day. Just protecting myself, so if you see it, now feel nowhere. Protect me while me I protect myself. Oh Lord, me no left it. My them of pencil and me send them like message for all. When man on no credit, man I call upon you for help me with the enemy. Cause them out there. Many on these streets don't sweet like strawberry. Friday. Man I feel roll with this load upon me every day. Every day. Just protecting myself, so if you see it, now feel nowhere. Father help me.
Judgment, Rastafari try them case. Find them guilty. Can't show them fights, them two thief and filthy. Think them safe, them don't got no safety. Protect us and bless us, King Selassie eyes on. Babylon kill him, the people trying to take control. Never leave us, bless and niggas, give us strength to endure. I will forever burn the wicked man, be sure. Protect us and bless us, King Emmanuel's own. Babylon kill him, the people trying to control. Never leave us, go before us, give us strength to endure. I will forever burn the wicked. Well, it has been so many years in a slavery. Prime Minister, them no care because them done enough for the Elizabeth of England. Give them the authority to keep the people and slave the people with Christianity. And John Pope and the church them in a conspiracy. Why the Governor General him a govern the money and we the people in the ghetto. As no liberty give us repatriation, justice and equality. Ever bless us and protect us. Selassie his own Babylon kill him the people trying to control. Never leave us, go before us, give us to endure. I forever will slow the wicked. Well, yo, this I say from the match. Me now forget the whip them and the neck them where you cut. Prophet, priest and king, Babylon the earth a bus. Black woman start to sing, me tell you say look but not touch. You couldn't drive the vehicle so you could drop in at the rot. Your laws and legislation, all of them me crush. Pollute you on the people, what will you do amongst us? Babylon, you empire and your country corrupt. You can't catch squawk who will bring him and catch him shut on Babylon. Now wearing pants, you see say that them heart full of muck. One thinking higher, you tough, yes. One black woman, you smooth, you no rough. Just protect us and bless us. Our wailing soul, Babylon killing black people to them can't control. Protect us, never leave us, give us strength to endure. I forever will slew the wicked. Well them protect us and bless us. King Selassie his own. Babylon killing the people to them can't control. Protect us and bless us. Our wailing soul. Emperor Selassie control. Well judgment, Babylon me no forget you. This one I no water from no pipe where you go sprinkle. Rastaman a chant and the western a tremble. This the you them want tell them favor stay humble. Tell them get out of king's house we come fi ground Selassie. Them have you like a cat and mouse in a beer rap. So they me tell you no go on Africa to no black family. Some of them tell me that they want when some tell me probably well. Protect us and bless us. Selassie his own politician killing the people to them can't control. Never leave us, go before us, keep us strength to endure. Sis like a langy come fi slow the wicked. Well help protect us and bless us. King Selassie his own. Babylon killing the people to them can't control. Yo, Rastafari, come take all of the nation. No silver nor no gold. Well them it has been so many years in a slavery. Prime Minister them no care because of them a kill we Elizabeth of England. Give them the authority.
When they were coming, they went up into an upper room.
Upper room Thursday, right here. Here the fifth day. I'm looking forward. Shavua Tov, still a good strong right here. Shabbat Eve coming forward, new day, but here, this Torah reading and feeding the 11th. Vayigash, and he drew near, and Judah drew near to his disguised brother, to Joseph, and the ice, so to speak, was broken. Everybody kind of like, wow. How many years was it? About 13 years. But be that as it may, here for this Torah reading and feeding, the 11th, Genesis 44:18 to 47:27. So here we're at the fifth aliyah, the reading right here. Now I'd like to go over the testament of the 12 patriarchs, but bringing out Judah, Yehuda, because he does a big thing right there, stepping to the ruler and making a case that moves the ruler and also uncovers, the mystery that's staring them in plain sight, that this is their brother, this is what he was dreaming about, and trying to reveal to them, and they just misinterpreted that and all that happened because of that. But here, picking up here with the fifth reading, maybe at the fifth and the sixth right here for Vayigash, some of the basic of this Torah reading and feeding right here. In the sixth reading, what do we have in the sixth reading? Just briefly right here. All right, we're going to Genesis. All right, Genesis right here. So, Genesis chapter 46. Yes. Verses 28, right, to 47 and 10. 47 and 10. So here in the sixth reading in Genesis, the sixth reading, we have Yaakov, Jacob. Jacob sent Yehuda before him to show the way to Goshen. So in this Torah reading and feeding here, right, in continuity, right? So right here, they're ready to from the previous Torah portion, you saw where it said that in the previous reading, it said that when the brothers came and told their father that Joseph is alive, the father didn't believe them. But then it says when he saw the wagons, his heart, his vibe, everything was just up for. But Jacob, now he sends Yehuda. Now we see how Yehuda here is kind of stepping up and also, taking a significant role right here at this point of the family story, the Israelite, the Jacob, sons of Jacob, story here. So Jacob sends Yehuda before him to show the way to Goshen. Now Joseph went up to Goshen in his chariot. Now, the chariot there in the Hebrew is the Merkabah, in his Merkabah. And people say Mercedes. Well, no, Joseph had a Merkabah. So Joseph went up to Goshen in his chariot to meet Yaakov and fell on his neck and wept. Jacob told Joseph, the J's here, right? The J's have it, or in the Hebrew, the Yods, right? We have Joseph, right? Joseph, we have Jacob, Yaakov, right? And then we have Judah, Yehuda. So Jacob told Joseph that he could die since he had seen Joseph's face. Joseph told his brothers that he would go to tell Pharaoh, the Perah, the great house, tell the great house that his brothers had come and that they kept cattle and that they had brought their flocks, herds, and all their possessions. Joseph instructed them. Now, when we have a time and opportunity, I just point you in the right direction here, really read through the instructions. Read through the instructions, and then when they finally go before the great house, the Pharaoh, the Perah, right, the Pharaoh, right, the Pharaoh, do they follow the instructions that Joseph gives them? And what is important about the instruction? It might just seem like he just said, okay, I'm going to go, and then you go and you say this and say this and say that. But there's something very specific that maybe if you read it already, you might have gotten it, but often we miss over this part, right? Because the instructions are very key. Joseph instructed them that when Pharaoh asked them their occupation, they should say that they are keepers of cattle. Why? Well, in the Torah reading and feeding, the narrative tells us at this particular time in ancient Egypt, in Mitzrayim, that shepherds were an abomination, toeba, to the Mitzrayim. So Joseph told the great house, the Pharaoh, that his family had arrived in the land of Goshen. Goshen in the Hebrew, on the ancient the Chushen, the Goshen, and presented 5 of his brothers to the Perah, to the Paro, to the great house called Pharaoh. Now, Pharaoh asked the brothers what their occupation was. So you see the sort of the setup right here, right? Because Joseph, he know Joseph, he know what's going on here, right? He's the second big man in command, Joseph right here. So now he tries to peep his brothers to game. He say, listen, when you go before the great house, the Perah, right, Paro, right, you are to say, he's going to ask you, what's your occupation? So here's the thing. Say that you, right, keep cattle, right? It's all about the cattle, right? Don't say you're a shepherd. Say you're a cow herd, or, that you care for the cattle, the bulls and the cattle, right? The bovine, Don't talk about all that sheep stuff, right? But anyway, it's kind of funny, but kind of like tragically funny in a sense. Because remember, Joseph told them some things 13 something years ago, right? About the dreams. They didn't hear that right either. Now here he tries to peep them to how to conduct business here down in Mitzrayim in the Tawi, right? Be that as it may, Pharaoh asked the brothers, and if you know something too, that Joseph he could have brought all his brothers, right? But he chooses, right? Joseph chooses, and we'll say wisely, he chooses 5, right? So Pharaoh, he asked these brothers what their occupation was. Are they gonna say what Joseph told them to say? Right? What did Joseph tell them to say? Joseph told them, right, that when Pharaoh asked of the occupation, they should say that they were keepers of cattle, that they were cattle herders, right? Not sheep herders, right? Why? Because shepherds at this time, right, were an abomination to the Mitzrayim. So Pharaoh asked them, what's your occupation? What you think they're going to say? Well, they told Pharaoh that they were shepherds. Yeah, they told Pharaoh, right, that they were shepherds. Ain't this something? Oh, man. Oh, man. So it's these little nuances. Sometimes people read and say, yeah, I read the Bible. I read it twice, 3 times. Okay. But how many times do you study it? Hmm? Study this right here, right? That when Joseph told them what to say, they said almost exactly the opposite, right? And so when you're reading, this Torah reading and feeding here, this Aliyah right here, you'll notice something interesting happens, right? Even within the reading and the narrative. After that, it's almost like Pharaoh, right? The great house, the Sutin Bit, Sutin Net, the ruler basically turned to Joseph, almost like, yo, like I'm working, I have a government job, and you bring in your family, right? And I know you, but I don't know your family, but maybe you told me something, whatever, but your family's here. And of course, I know you want to hook up your family, right? And, they're supposed to say something specific to me so I can put them in that good position. But they say the exact opposite. So afterwards I'm like, oh, pleased to meet you. Yeah. Hold on for a moment. Let me speak to your brother. Come over here for a moment. Yo, what's going on? Right? There's that kind of moment right here in the narrative. Pharaoh told Joseph, your family could live in the best of the land, in the Kushan, in the Hebrew, the Goshen, right? But here's the key thing. The Perah said that if he knew any able men among them, right? If he knew any Anshe Chayil. So here, even in the text, we have the word Chayil, like in Chayla, like Chayla Selassie, Chayil, power, right? If he knew any Anshe Chayil. What's the Anshe Chayil? If he knew any men of power, yes, but the context here, any able men, any Anshe Chayil, right? If you know any Anshe Chayil, Anshe Chayil. So, because see, these guys were supposed to get it, but in open court, they said something that wasn't really acceptable, right? But sure, you can live down there, but we still have this issue. We got a lot of cattle, right? I thought your brothers was going to say that they were cattle herders, but they come to court, right? And in the open court, they're saying they're shepherds. They talk about their sheep, right? Like nobody want to hear that. But anyway, Pharaoh told Joseph that his family could live in the best of the land, in the Hushan, in the Goshen. And if he knew any able men, any Anshe Chayil, like any men able to hear, understand, and say the right thing and do the right job, then he could appoint them to watch over Pharaoh's cattle. So in the narrative, it basically tells you that Joseph is giving them specific instructions, right? Like, say this, don't say this. But then they say the opposite. Then Pharaoh pulls Joseph like on the side and say, listen, they can go to Goshen. Don't worry about it. The best land is theirs. But you know what? If you know anybody, who has the ability to take care of this cattle, Pharaoh got cattle, right? Pharaoh got cattle, and cattle Pharaoh got. Joseph set Jacob. Now after that, but it doesn't. Even Pops is kind of in on it, right? Joseph set Jacob before the Pharaoh, and Jacob blessed Paro. Jacob blessed Pharaoh. How interesting here. We have Jacob blessing, right, the Pharaoh. And Pharaoh then, looking upon this old man, he asks Jacob, how old? He says, to Jacob, like, how old are you? Which is also very interesting. It kind of, in a sense, kind of begs the question, haven't they ever seen, right? Haven't they ever seen the old man, right? Jacob's age, because they're really curious at, this old man, the father of Joseph and of the brothers, right? So he asks him, well, how old was he? And Jacob answered. His answer is very interesting, the full answer, but simply put, he answers that he was 130 years old. Jacob could like stop there, like sometimes somebody's answering something and you're like, okay, that's good enough right there. No, it's okay. You don't have to say it anymore. But check it out. Jacob answered that he was 130 years old, right? And then he added on to that, and that they had been few and evil had been the years of his life. Like a little footnote, like as if that is any of Pharaoh's concern, or Pharaoh going to do anything about that, right? Now, basically the scene ends, but we're going to return to that point, right? Why was, what they say, TMI? People say nowadays, they say TMI, right? TMI is like too much information and stuff like that. Yeah, it's almost like what happened with the brothers, the 5 brothers, right? Jacob, Jacob's Jacob's children, they was about to get this lucrative contract, but they got in their feelings and started talking about, this land is famine, and we shepherds and stuff like that. We got a lot of sheep, and it's like, yeah, but you come down here, and Pharaoh got a lot of cattle, right? But then we have Jacob now, right? He blesses Pharaoh, which is an interesting point. He blesses Pharaoh, that Abrahamic style there. And he's asked by Pharaoh, how old is he? He says 130 years. But then he tacks on to that these years have been few and evil, the years of his life. Would that have any consequence, do we think, in the narrative right there? We're going to bring that out. But Jacob, basically, after that, he blessed Pharaoh, right? And he left out. So it almost appears like, he blessed Pharaoh, like when he came in, he blessed him, little conversation, right? And then he left, or before he left, he blessed him, right? So the 6th reading, right, ends right here, right? So let's pick up right here. This Torah reading and feeding, Shema Yisrael.
And here, Shema Yisrael, here for the Hamishi, here for the 5th Aliyah, for the 5th up offering up, going up, here for this Shabbat, Wayigash, here picking up the first book of Moshe, the Hebrew book that's called Genesis, and here from the Sefer Reishis, here we pick up with Genesis chapter 45, verse 28, for the Hamishi, for the 5th reading, the 5th Aliyah for this Shabbat Wayigash. Vayomer Israel, Rav Od Yosef Beni Chai Elcha with Er'einu Abit Rem Amut. And Israel said, Vayomer Israel, it is enough. Joseph, my son, is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die. Rav Od Yosef Beni Chai Elcha with Er'einu Abit Rem Amut. Here, Shema Yisrael, here, picking up with Genesis chapter 46. Jacob, Yaakov journeys to Mitzrayim, to Egypt, to Kemet, to Tubit, to Egypt. Here, picking up Genesis chapter 46, verse 1. Vayisla Yisrael, Wikol Asher Lo, Vayaho, Bi E'ah Shalva. Vayizbacha Zivachim Lelohei Avio Yitzhak. And Israel took his journey with all that he had. Vayisa Yisrael Kol Asher Lau. And Israel took his journey with all that he had and came to Beersheba. Vayavo Be'e'ah Shalva. And offered sacrifices to the God, the true good of his father Isaac. Vayizbacha Zivachim Lelohei Avio Yitzhak. And Ha'el, true good, the true God, spake to Israel in the visions of the night and said, Jacob. And he said, Here I. Vayomer Elohim le Yisrael Ma'ota Halayl Vayomer Yaakov Vayomer Hineni. And Elohim spake to Yisrael in the visions of the night. Vayomer Elohim le Yisrael Ma'ota Halayla. And said, Jacob. Vayomer Yaakov. Vayomer, and he said, Hineni, here. And he said, I, God, the true good, Ha'el, the Elohim of thy father, fear not to go down to Mitzrayim, to Egypt, to Kemet, to Gibbet, for I will there make of thee a great nation. Vayomer Anoki Ha'el Elohei Avika, Altira, Mea reda Mitzrayim, ki lekoi kadola, simeka sham. And he said, Vayomer Anoki, I, Anoki, Ha'el, I, Ha'el, the true El, the true good, the true God, Ha'el, Anoki, Ha'el, Elohei Avika, I am Ha'el, the Elohim of the I, Father, Anoki, Ha'el Elohei Avika. Altira, fear not, Me'er Da Mitzrayim, fear not to go down to Mitzrayim, to Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. Ki Legoy Gadol, Simeka Sham. I will go down with the eye to Mitzrayim, to Egypt, to Kemet. And I will also surely bring thee up. And Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. Anoki, Ereda imeka Mitzrayim. We Anoki, Aleka Gamma Alo. We Yosef. Yashita Yado Allah Aineka. I will go down with thee, male, into Egypt, into Mitzrayim. Anochi, Ereda Imka, Anoki, Ereda Imka, Mitzrayim. I will go down with the eye into Mitzrayim, to Egypt. We Anoki, Aleka, Kama, Allo, Gam Allo. And I also surely will bring thee up again, will cause thee eye to Aliyah up again. With Anoki, Alka, Tam Alo, with Yosef, Yashita Yado, Allah Aineka. And Joseph, with Yosef, shall put his hand upon thine eyes. With Yosef, Yashita Yado, Allah Aineka. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel, the children of Israel, carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives, in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. Vayakam Yaakov mi Be'er Shava. Vaya Yisua b'nei Yisrael eta Yaakov avihem ve'eta tapam ve'eta ne'shehem ba'galota asher shalach Paro la seta oto. And they took their cattle and their goods which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Mitzrayim, came into Kibitz, came into Egypt. Yaakov, Jacob, and all his seed and all his race with him, his sons and his sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed and all his race brought he with him into Mitzrayim, into Egypt, into Kibitz. And these are the names, Shemot, of the Bnei Yisrael, the children, the sons of Yisrael, which came into Mitzrayim, into Egypt, Yaakov and Benaio and his sons. Reuven, Yaakov, Jacob's firstborn. And the sons of Reuven, Reuben, Hanok, and Phalu, and Hezron, and Carmi. And the sons of Shimon, of Simeon, Jemuel, and Jamin, and Ohad, and Jachin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanitish woman, a Canaanitish Isha woman, and the sons of Levi, Gershon, and Kohath, and Merari, and the sons of Yehuda, of Judah, and Onan, and Shelah, and Pharez, and Zara. And and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Pharez were Hezron and Hamul. And the sons of Yisachar, Tola, and Puvah, and Joel, and Shimron. And the sons of Zebulun, Sered, and Elon, and Jahliel. These be the sons of Leah, which she bare to Yaakov in Pandan Aram, with his daughter Din. All the souls of Benaio, of his sons and his daughters, were 33. And the sons of Gad, Ziphion and Hagi, Shuni and Ezron, Eri and Arodi and Areli, and the sons of Asher, Jimnah and Ishua and Isui and Beriah, and Sarah their sister. And the sons of Beriah, Heber and Malkiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bare to Yaakov, even 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, of Rachel, Yaakov's Isha, Jacob's wife, Eshet, Oset, Yosef and Binyamin, and Benjamin. And to Yosef in the land of Mitzrayim, in the land of Egypt, in the land of Gubitz, in the land of Kemet, Memphis, were born Manasseh and Ephraim, who Asenat, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, of Heliopolis, bare to him. And the sons of Binyamin, of Benjamin, were Bela and Becher, and Ashbel, Gera and Naaman, Echi and Rosh, Mupim and Ard. These are the sons of Rachel, of Rachel, who were born to Yaakov. All the souls were 14. And the sons of Dan, Hushim. And the sons of Naphtali, Jaziel and Guni, Jezer and Shalim. These are the sons of Bilhah, who Laban gave to Rachel his daughter, and she bare these to Yaakov, to Jacob. All the souls were 7. All the souls that came with Yaakov, with Jacob, into Mitzrayim, into Kibitz, who came out of his loins, besides Yaakov, Jacob's sons' wives, all the souls were 66. And the sons of Yosef, of Joseph, who were born him in Mitzrayim, were 2 souls. All the souls of the Beit Yaakov, the Beit Yaakov, of the house of Yaakov, the house of Jacob, who came into Mitzrayim, were 70 or 70. And here, Shema Yisrael, here for the Sheishi Aliyah for this Shabbat Wayigash, Sabbath, and he drew near. Here, picking up the first book of Moshe, the Hebrew book that is called Genesis chapter 46, here at verse 28, for the Sheishi, for the 6th Aliyah, the 6th offering up, going up, the Aliyah, the 6th reading here for this Shabbat Wayigash. Genesis chapter 46, verse 28. We'eta Yehuda shalacha לפניו אלא יוסף להורותה לפניו כשנה ויבואו ארצה גשן and he sent to Judah, to Yehuda, before him to Yosef, to Joseph. We'eta Yehuda shalacha lefanayo illa Yosef, and he sent Judah, Yehuda, before him to Yosef, to direct his face to Goshen. We'eta Yehuda shalacha lefanayo illa Yosef lehorota lefanayo Geshena to Gishen, to Goshen. and they came into the land of Goshen. Wayavohu arsa Gishen. And Joseph made ready his chariot and went up to meet Yisrael his father to Goshen, and presented himself to him, and he fell on his neck and wept on his neck a good while. And Yisrael said to Yosef, Now, let me make I die, since I have seen thy face, because thou, the eye, art yet alive. Amuta, hapa'am, achreya reoti aeta paneka, kia odeka hai. Make I die, now make I die. Amuta, now make I die. Amuta, hapa'am, now make I die, since I have seen thy face. Amuta hapa'am achreya re'otia etapaneka, that thou, the eye, art yet alive. Kia odeka hai, the eye are yet alive. Ki odeka hai. And Joseph said to his brethren and to his father's bait, his father's house, I will go up, I will aliyah up and shoot Pharaoh, and say to him, my brethren and my father's bait, my father's house, who were in the land, who in the land of Canaan are come to me, are come to I. And the men, shepherds, and their trade have been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. And it shall come to pass when Pharaoh, the great house, shall call you, and shall say, what your occupation, that y'all shall say, thy servants' trade have been about cattle, from our youth even until now, both we, I and also I and thy fathers, that y'all may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd an abomination to the Egyptians. And Joseph said to his brethren, Wayomer Yosef illa echayo, illa beita avio. And Yosef said to his brethren, illa echayo, and to his father's house, illa beita avio, I will go up. I will go up with Agida and tell Pharaoh, and tell to Pharaoh where Omra Helayo, and will say to him, Achai Beit Avi Asher Be'aretz Canaan Ba'u Elai. My brethren and my father's house, who were in the land of Canaan, are come to me, are come to I. I will go up with Agida le Pharaoh with Homra Elayo. Achai Beit Avi Hasher Bik Aretz Canaan Ba'u Elai. And the men are shepherds with Ha Nashim Ro Aitzon. And the men with Ha and Nashim are shepherds Ro Aitzon. For they have been keepers of cattle. Ki Anshe Mikneh Hayu. For they have been keepers of cattle. Ki Anshe Mikneh Hayu. And they have brought their flocks and their herds and all that they have. With Sonam Uba Karama Wikola Sherlahem Hayaviu. And it shall come to pass, and it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you and shall say, what is your occupation? Ki yikra alakem Pharaoh with Amar ma isekem isekem. What is your occupation? That y'all shall say, thy servants have been keepers of cattle from our youth, even until now, both we, I and our fathers. Why martem? That y'all shall say, why martem? Anshe mikneh hayu. Evadeka, thy servants, Evadeka, have been keepers of cattle, Anshe Mikneh, from our youth, even until now. Wa emartem Ansheya Mikneh Hayu Evadeka, Mina Ua Rein, with Ada Ata Kam, Enachnu Kam, Abotenu, Ba Ebura, Teishahu, Bi Aretza, Gishen, Kia, To Irata, Mitzrayim, Kola, Ro'eh, on. That ye, that y'all may dwell in the land of Goshen. Teishavua, Bi Aretza, Gishen, Kia, To Irata, Mitzrayim. For abomination to the Mitzrayim, to the Egyptian, called Ro'ei Tzon. For every shepherd, Ro'ei Tzon is an To'erat, abomination. Kia To'erata Mitzrayim, called Ro'ei Tzon. Here, Shema Yisrael, Gevil Yisrael. Here, first book of Moshe, Hebrew book called Genesis chapter 47. Genesis chapter 47. Jacob, Yaakov, and his descendants exalted. Then Yosef came and told Paro and said, my father and my brethren and their flocks and their herds and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan. And behold, they are in the land of Goshen. Wayavo Yosef. Wayavo Yosef. Wayageda lefaro. Wayomer Avi. We achai. We sonam. Ubat arama wikola asher lahem baua me aretza Canaan we hinama be aretza Gishen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them to Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said to his brethren, Ma isekem, what is your occupation? Ma isekem, what is your occupation? And they said to Pharaoh, why yomru illa Pharaoh ro'eyan sona evadeka dam nachnua dam ebotenu. And they said to Pharaoh, thy servants are shepherds, both we, I and also I fathers. Ro'ei sona evadeka dam nachnu dam ebotenu. They said, moreover, to Pharaoh, for to sojourn in the land are we come, or I come, for thy servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan. Now therefore we, I pray thee, make thy servants dwell in the land of Goshen. Vayomru el paroa lagur ba'aretza ba'nu kia eina Nira'eh latzona ashera la evadeka kia kaved ha ra'avabe aretza Canaan with atta yashavu na evadeka be aretza Gishen. And Pharaoh and Paro spake to Yosef, saying, thy father and thy brethren are come to thee, I. Vayomer Paro illa Yosefa lemor avika we achreka bau aleka. Thy father and thy brethren are come to the eye. Aret Mitzrayim lefaneka he be mayat av haaret av hosheva eta avika we eta acheka yashavu be aret Gishen. Wehim ya da'ita we yeisha baman she chayil we samtama sareya mikne Allah asher li. And Pharaoh spake to Joseph, saying, thy father and thy brethren are come to thee. The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and thy brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen, make them dwell. And if thou knowest any men of activity, and if we'im ya da'ita we yesh bam anshe chayil, And if thou knowest any able men, Anshe Chayil, any men of activity, Anshe Chayil, among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. We'im Yada'ita, Yeshpam Anshe Chayil, Sammitama Sareya Mikne Allah Asherli, for me, over my cattle. And Joseph brought in Yaakov, Jacob, his father, and set him before Pharaoh, and Yaakov and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Wayave Yosef et Yaakov avio, Wayaye miyade hua lifne Pharaoh, Waya bareka Yaakov et Paro, and Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. Why barek Yaakov et Paro. And Pharaoh said to Yaakov, how old art thou? How old thou? How old I? Vayomer Paro el Yaakov, Kama yime shnei hayeka. How many are the days of the years of thy life? Kama yemeya shneya hayeka. How many are the days? Kama yeme of the years, shnei of thy life, hayeka. And Yaakov and Jacob said to Paro, the days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained to the days of the years of the life of my fathers, my patriarchs, in the days of their pilgrimage. And Yaakov said, Wayomer Yaakov ela Paro, to Pharaoh, Yemei Shnei Migurei Sheloshim Ua Me'ata Shana Me'ata We Ra'ima Hayu Yemei Shneya Hayaya Lo Hiya Siguaeta Yemei Shneya Hayaya Botai Bimeya Migoreihem. And Jacob said to Pharaoh, the days of the years of my sojournings, the days of the years of my sojournings, Yemei Shnei Migorei, are 130 years. Shiloshim Me'ata Shana. Few Me'at Awe Ra'im. Few and evil, Me'at Awe Ra'im Hayu, have been the days of the years of my life. Me'at Awe Ra'im Hayu Yemeya Shneya Hayai. And they have not attained to the days of the years of the life of my fathers, my patriarchs. Willo He Sigueta Yemeya Shneya Hayaya Votai, in the days of their sojournings. Bimei Migoreihem. And Yaakov and Jacob blessed Pharaoh and went out from before Pharaoh. Why vareka Yaakov et Paro? Why barek Yaakov et Paro? Why ayetzeya mia lifnei Pharaoh? And went out. Why ayetze mia lifnei Pharaoh, from the face, from the presence, the perception of Pharaoh, the great house, 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 the great house.
So Jacob complains. He complains. Why do some of the sages see it as a kind of a wrong thing when Jacob states here in the 6th Aliyah in verse 9, here's the verse right here, just touch on this right here briefly right here. And Jacob said to Pharaoh, the days of the years of my pilgrimage, 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained to the days of the years of the life of my fathers in their pilgrimage. Now, the word pilgrimage is also a word that's earlier used, I think, in the which was Torah reading and feeding Wayigash, when it says that Jacob dwelt in the land, right? Jacob sat, he dwelt in the land. The Migure, the sojournings. So why is this complaint of Yaakov seen by some of the sages and some of I and I as being teaching us something that's not quite in proper order? Now, if we go through the narrative, let's go through the narrative right here. Shema Yisrael.
Two verses 8 and 9. And Pharaoh said to Jacob, Yaakov, KJV says, how old art thou? How old thou? How old thou? How old thou? This is how KJV, the King James Version, translated. Now from the Hebrew, and here in the Sefer the Reishis, it reads, Yomer Paro il Yaakov. And Paro, here pointed the pay, Paro, sometimes there's the fay, Pharaoh. That's also some interest there. But here it reads, Wayomer Paro illa Yaakov. Kama yimei shnei chayeka. How many are the days of the years of thy life? Kama, like what? Literally in the biblical Hebrew, like what? Kama, ka, like ma, what? Kama, yimei shnei chayeka. Chaye, life, chayeka, ka, speaking to Yaakov, speaking to a male. Kama yimei shnei chayeka, or the shnei, the shana, shnei, the years of the shnei chayeka. So these two words taken together as one. The shnei, we have the word in its standalone sense, the shana, year, shana. Here we have shnei, the years of shnei, the a, shnei, years of chayeka, the years of the I, life. King James says, the King James Version, KJV, how old are thou? Well, we get more detail here in the Hebrew. Kama, like what? Yemei, the years of Shenei, the days, like the Sul, Na. Right? We have the Yemei, the Yom, Yawam, Yemei, Yamim, Yomim, right? The days here pointed as Yemei, the days of Shenei, the years, the days of the years, Chayeka. Kama, like what? Yemei, the days of Shenei, the years, Chayeka, the eye's life. So this we have here in verse 8. Genesis 47 and 8. In verse 9 it says, Wayomer Yaakov el Paro. And Jacob said to Pharaoh, Paro el Paro, Yemei Shnei Megurei Shloshim U Me'at Umaat Shana. He says the days of the years of my pilgrimage. KJV brings it out as pilgrimage. Coming more from the Hebrew and the Chumash, we have a more precise the sojournings. The sojournings in Megure as a gur, almost as like a resident alien, right? Megure, the sojourning. The Megure, the sojournings of, right? The sojournings, the years of the days of the year. So he responds in the similar fashion of the Yemei Shnei, Megure, Shiloshim, 30, and Ma'at. The Hebrew Ma'at, 100. We have the meto in the Royal Mark, but here we have Ma'at, Shana, and 100 year, So literally he says 30 and 100 years. 30, Shiloshim, Ma'at, Shana, years. So we have the Shana and the Shnei, the years of, and here he says 30 and 100 Shana, 100 year. Now, he says something very interesting. He says, Yaakov says, Ma'at, right? So we have the Me'at, and that's also very interesting. Like the Lau, the Lamed Wow, right? Lau, right, for him. And then we have Lo, Lamed Aleph, Lo. So sometimes the words come in close conjunction with each other, like we have right here, where Yaakov is answering the Kama Yemei Shnei Chayeka. He says, Yemei Shnei Megoreya Shaloshim Ma'ata Shana Me'ata We'ra'im Hayu Yemei Shnei Chayai. Now he goes on to say, few and evil have the days of the years of my life been. So see, from the Hebrew, and coming out from the Hebrew, and so in the Hebrew we get more of the context. It's not just how old thou, the I, but it's like what are the days of the years of your life. And he says the days of the years of my sojourning, Migorei. So he talks about his sojourning, his pilgrimage, the days of the years of my pilgrimage, Migorei, being like a resident alien, my sojourning. Now he says, few and evil have the days of the years. Now repeating, there's a repetition of this phrase after he says, me'at, the tate, not the tav, the ayin, not the aleph. So it's not the me'at, ma'at, and 100 shana, 100 years. So we're looking at the phrases here. Just looking at each phrase, like to the comma or the diacritical, the comma or colon or colon. But we're looking at each kind of part of the phrase, breaking down the sentence. He goes on and says, Ma'ata we'ra'im, Ma'ata we'ra'im, Ma'ata we'ra'im. Right? Few and evil, hayu, they have been. Ma'ata we'ra'im, hayu. They, what's they? Yemei shnei chayai. Now he answers about his life. So he speaks about his sojournings, his experience, his journeys, how he sojourned, where he's been. Right? And then giving a more direct answer to the Kama Yemei Shnei Chayeka. He says Yemei Shnei Chayai. He describes them as Me'ata We'ra'im Hayu. They have been few and evil have the days of the years of my life, and they have not. Now this is the interesting part. This is last phrase right here. And they, the days of the years of my life, the Yemei Shnei Chayai, Yaakov says, Avinu Yaakov says, he says, Ulo, he sigu, eta Yemei Shnei Chayei, avotai, bi me megoreihem. He says, and they have not attained to the days of the years of the life of my fathers, my patriarchs. He says the chaye, the life of, right, the lives of, the life of, chaye, the life of avotai. So these two words go together. As we have the yemei, the days of, the shenei, the years, chayeka, the yemei, the days of, shenei, migorei, or migorai. Here we have the migorai of my sojournings, migorai. And then he explains, shaloshim u'me'at shana, 30 and 100 year, me'at awe'ra'ima hayu, yemei shnei chayei, the days of the years of my life, right? He says have been me'at we'ra'im hayu, have been few, me'at we'ra'im, and ivarara, we'ra'im, ra'im, hayu, yemei shnei chayai, we'lo, he sigu eta yemei shnei, and they have not reached to, they have not attained to, the days of the years, this phrase, the days of the years, the days of the years, the days of the years, they have not attained, we'lo, his sigu eta yemei shnei chayei, avotai, some point as avotai, chaye avotai, my fathers. Be may in the days of Megureihem, in the days of their sojourning. So what's the point? All right, what's the point right here? Well, as we have on the Rastafari Groundation site, just briefly right here, right, where the sages, right, they criticize Yaakov for complaining to Pharaoh, and calling his years Ma'at Awe'ra'im Hayu, Ma'at Awe'ra'im Hayu, his Chaye, Yemei, Shnei, Chayai, the days of the years of his life. Now there's a Midrash, right, a somewhat humorous story whereby Ha-Elohim, the true God, transforms Yaakov, Jacob's complaint, into a self-fulfilling prophecy. So in the Midrash, Ha-Elohim was listening to Yaakov, the patriarch's complaint, and is said to have replied as follows. So you, speaking to Yaakov, Jacob, call your years, what was that? Me'ata wira'im. Hayu. They have been me'ata wira'im. They have been few and unpleasant, few and rah-rah, few and evil. You say, I gave you the covenant, right? The covenant barakot, blessings. Saved you from Esau and Lavan, Esau and Laban. Returned Dinah, Yosef, Shimon, Binyamin. Returned to you Dinah and Joseph and Simeon and Benjamin to you. Prospered you and saved your family from Ra'av, right? Famine. Yet you complain about your life. I will take 33 words, the 33 words spoken in those two verses, Genesis 47 verses 8 and 9. I will take those 33 words spoken in those two verses and deduct them from your years. Then your years will indeed not reach or not attain those of your patriarchs, your fathers. So what does this mean? Another math game. You got to do the math. What's the math here? There are 33 Hebrew Devarim words in Genesis 47 verses 8 and 9. Yaakov, he lived to the age of 147, which is 33 years short of his father's lifespan of 180. Ha-Elohim, the true good, the true God, deducted 1 year from his life for each of the Hebrew Devarim in those two verses of the Sefer Bereshit, Genesis. Now, some say, well, obviously, this midrash, this story is not meant to be taken literally. Some might say it's whimsical style, characteristic of the sages of bygone ages, and especially the midrash, the derasan, the studies, the teaching. While teachings like this are not literally true, they always teach some deeper truth to those who can receive that, the da'at. Now, in this case, the midrash has recognized that it was not appropriate or inappropriate for Avinu Yaakov, our father Jacob, to complain about his life. In reality, the truth of the matter is that he received great barakatot, blessings. He didn't know how many years he had left to live. For all he knew, he might have yet outlived his forefathers, his patriarchs. So can we say to a certain extent, can we be certain of the extent that our words create our own reality? Or at the very least, our words and our attitudes, they color the reality that I and I must live in. As we say, words shape reality. All right? Words shape reality. This is what I and I say. Words shape how we respond to life's hardship. It determines how much of a toll these and those hardships will take on us. Jacob, why did Yaakov refer to the years of his life? Not to the years of his life, but to his sojournings. And then he could have left it as that. And he could have said, okay, the years of my life were, but then to say that they were ma'at wira'im. Was it something that Yaakov, that Jacob, notice, your name shall be no more called Yaakov, but Yisrael. But it seems as though sometimes it's Yaakov, right? And other times it's Yisrael. That's also for the studies, brothers and sisters. But words shape reality. Perfect example here with the patriarch, with Yaakov, Abinu Yaakov complaining to Pharaoh about his life being few. His days, the years of his life being few, being rara, unpleasant, ra'i, right? Have been the years of his life, and how they had not attained to the years of his fathers, his patriarchs, that they lived during the years of their sojournings. Isn't it strange that a man 130 years old would bemoan a short life? But his grandfather, Abraham, he lived to 175. His father, Yitzhak, lived to 180. Pharaoh, and we could say the old kingdom of Mitzrayim, because here we're coming into a new kingdom, right? The 12th, yes, Pharaoh, the 12th dynasty, the middle kingdom coming in, but the old kingdom here. Pharaoh, the great house, was astounded at these amazing ages. Yaakov was the oldest man he had ever met. And still, Yaakov, Avinu, complained. Do you complain? Did his complaint before Pharaoh, did this become a self-fulfilling prophecy? Do words shape reality? reality, 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 reality.
Yes, 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 yes. Something to about. Right here. Yeah, right here, here to this psalm here. Interesting for 25th. Don't have a psalm right here. The coronation psalm, interesting. The daily psalm here for the 25th, right? Gregorian 25th of December, but here. In this Torah reading and feeding.
Psalm 45.
מזמור מ"ה למנצח על שושנים לבני קורח משכיל שיר ידידו 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 שיר ידידו
My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. Thou art fairer than the children of men. Grace is poured into thy lips. Therefore God hath blessed thee forever. Gird thy sword upon thy thigh, O most mighty, with thy glory and thy majesty. And in thy majesty ride prosperously because of truth and meekness and righteousness, and thy right hand shall teach thee terrible things. Thine arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemies, whereby the people fall under thee. Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. The scepter of thy kingdom is a right scepter. Thou lovest righteousness and hatest wickedness. Therefore God, thy God, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. All thy garments smell of myrrh and aloes and cassia out of the ivory palaces, whereby they have made thee glad. King's daughters were among thy honorable women. Upon thy right hand did stand the queen in gold of Ophir. Hearken, O daughter, and consider, and incline thine ear. Forget also thine own people and thy father's house. So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty, for he is thy Lord, and worship thou him. And the daughter of Tyre shall be there with a gift. Even the rich among the people shall entreat thy favor. The king's daughter is all glorious within. Her clothing is of wrought gold. She shall be brought unto the king in raiments of needlework. The virgins, her companions that follow her, shall be brought unto thee. With gladness and rejoicing shall they be brought. They shall enter into the king's palace. Instead of thy fathers shall be thy children, whom thou mayest make princes in all the earth. I will make thy name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore shall the people praise thee forever and ever, ever and ever, ever. And when they were come in, they went up into an upper room. They went up into an upper room.
Lion of Judah Society.
מזמור מ"ה למנצח על שושנים לבני קורח משכיל שיר ידידות. רחש ליבי דבר טוב, אומר אני מעשי למלך, לשוני עת סופר מהיר. יופי יפית מבני אדם, הוצק חן בשפתותיך, על כן ברכך אלוהים לעולם. חגור חרבך על ירך גיבור, הודך והדרך, והדרך צלח רחב, על דבר אמת וענוות צדק, ותורך נוראות ימיניך. חיציך שלונים, עמים תחתיך יפלו, בלב אויבי המלך. כסאך אלוהים עולם ועד, שבט מישור שבט מלכותיך. אהבת צדק ותשנא רשע, על כן משחך אלוהים אלוהיך, שמן ששון מחבריך. מור ואהלות כציעות כל בגדותיך, מן החלשן מיני שמחוך. בנות מלכים בקרותיך, מצבא שגל לימינך בכתם אופיר. שמעי בת וראי והטי אוזנך, ושכחי עמך ובית אביך. ויתאב המלך יופייך, כי הוא אדונייך, והשתחווי לו. ובצור במנחה, פנייך יחלו עשירי עם. כל כבודה בת מלך פנימה, ממשבצות זהב לבושה. לרקמות תובל למלך, בתולות אחריה רעותיה. מובאות לך, תובלנה בשמחות בגיל, תבואנה בהיכל מלך. תחת אבותיך יהיו בניך, תשיתמו לשרים בכל הארץ. אזכיר שמך בכל דור ודור, על כן עמים יהודוך לעולם ועד.
Psalm 45, Psalm 45, Psalm 45.
מזמור מ"ה. למנצח על שושנים לבני קורח, משכיל שיר ידידו, שיר ידידו, שיר ידידו, שיר ידידו, שיר ידידו, שיר ידידו, שיר ידידו,
My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. Thou art fairer than the children of men. Grace is for grace, is for grace, is for grace. Psalm 45.
מזמור מ"ה. למנצח על שושנים לבני קורח, משכיל שיר ידידו, שיר ידידו, שיר ידידו, שיר ידידו,
My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. Thou art fairer than the children of men. Grace is poured into thy lips. Therefore God hath blessed thee forever. Gird thy sword upon thy thighs, O most mighty, with thy glory and thy majesty. And in thy majesty ride prosperously, because of truth and meekness and righteousness. And thy right hand shall teach thee terrible things. Thine arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemies, whereby the people fall under thee. Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. The scepter of thy kingdom is a right scepter. Thou lovest righteousness and hatest wickedness. Therefore God, thy God, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. All thy garments smell of myrrh and aloes and cassia out of the ivory palaces, whereby they have made thee glad. King's daughters were among thy honorable women. Upon thy right hand did stand the queen in gold of Ophir. Hearken, O daughter, and consider, and incline thine ear. Forget also thine own people and thy father's house. So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty, for he is thy Lord, and worship thou him. And the daughter of Tyre shall be there with a gift. Even the rich among the people shall entreat thy favor. The king's daughter is all glorious within. Her clothing is of wrought gold. She shall be brought unto the king in raiments of needlework. The virgins, her companions that follow her, shall be brought unto thee. With gladness and rejoicing shall they be brought. They shall enter into the king's palace. Instead of thy fathers shall be thy children, whom thou mayest make princes in all the earth. will make thy name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore shall the people praise thee forever and ever. Psalm 45.
מזמור מ"ה. למנצח על שושנים לבני קורח, משכיל שיר ידידו, שיר ידידו, שיר ידידו.
Yes, yes, yes. Here, here, here. A royal marriage song, a royal wedding song. Here, the coronation of the Rastafari Kedemah Haile Selassie, anointing and crowning, right, of His Majesty Psalm. Very important psalm here, Psalm 45, today's daily psalm. So here, a royal marriage song. Just a couple of basics right here. Coronation Day song, right? Marriage song in honor of the peerless king, the king that does not have a peer, the peerless king. Coronation psalm right here, here, thou art my king, Elohim. It's addressed in prayer to Elohei Yisrael, to the God of Israel. In this psalm, the person of the king who is celebrated is a matter by some of doubt and controversy and controversy. So very interesting we have here, it's also quoted in the epistle to the Hebrews, right? Hebrews chapter 1 verse 8 proceeds on the assumption that it is the future anointed, the future Christ, right? The Bain Elohim, right? Now this is supported and viewed by an ancient tradition in the ancient synagogue, in accordance with the Targumist, the interpreter, how it renders Psalm 45, today's daily psalm, verse 3. So a couple of important points about this psalm. First of all, it's a significant psalm in the coronation liturgy. Today's daily psalm, Psalm 45, is a significant psalm in the coronation liturgy of His Divine Majesty of Kedemah Haile Selassie, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, root of David, right, elect of God. So here we have Psalm 45. Let's put it into a little bit of context here. Psalm 45 means more meme, hey. Means more meme, hey. Meme, Hebrew letter meme, numerical value of 40. Hey, the fifth letter of the Hebrew alphabet. Therefore, the psalm means more meme, hey. Tehillim, Perek, Meme, Hey, chapter 45, Psalm 45, Psalm XLV, a royal marriage psalm, or some even say a royal wedding song, right? Coronation, November 2nd, 1930 psalm, the anointing day psalm, the crowning of the Rastafari Kedemah Haile Selassie, and the crowning of the queen that's also mentioned here in Mizmor Meme Hey, right? But the key thing is the anointing, right, is for the king, right? The Messiah. As we mentioned, this is a marriage song in honor of the peerless king. It's a maskil psalm, it's a Korahite psalm, right? As we just touched on just some of the highlights here. Key verse. In Psalm 44, the preceding psalm, at the fifth verse, a scroll here, Mizmor Meme Dalet, which is themed a national prayer of intercession. So the preceding psalm, so the coronation psalm right here, Psalm 44, Mizmor Meme Dalet, is themed a national prayer of intercession. So here, bringing it to the fifth verse, it says here, fifth verse Hebraically will be the fourth verse in the King James Version of the Bible. Thou art my king, O God, command the salvation of Jacob. Atahu, Ata. Ata is a pronoun in Hebrew emphatically to say you, thee, I, you, right? Ata, thee, and none other. ata, thee, and who is the pronoun for he. So here in the Hebrew, right, here we have Psalm, here we go, bring it up here. Psalm 44, verse 5. Ata hu, Malki, my king, Elohim, you are he, you, he, even he who be, you, the I, be he. Ata, hu, Malki, Elohim, Saway, Saway, or some will say Saway, command, Saway, Yeshuot, command the Yeshua here, salvation, Yeshua, not the name of our Savior from the same root, it's Yeshua, you see the man, Yeshua, the aspect right here. Okay, they get this verse off right here because in the KJV, it's a verse over. So let's go over here. Let's go to this right here. Let's select this for a moment. Just to scroll here. Boom, 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 boom. 44, right? 44 and 4. Okay, let's see how that go. Yeah. My bad. Yeah, 44 and 4 in the KJV Bibles. In the Hebrew, it's actually verse 5 because superscription. But here's the verse. Thou art my king, O Elohim, command deliverances. So deliverances are the Yeshuas, right? So here we have Yeshua, salvation, deliverance, welfare, contextually prosperity, deliverance, salvation, right? Like victory, salvation and victory, the key themes here, right? So here in this verse, thou art my king, you are he, my king. You are he, my king, O Elohim. Atahu, Malki, Elohim. Saweh Yeshuot, Yaakov. Command, Saweh, right? Saweh from Sawa in the ancient Afro-Shemitic biblical Hebrew, Sawa. Modern Hebrew, some would say Sava. So they would say Saveh. Saveh Yeshuota Yaakov. Saveh Yeshuot Yaakov. Shaveh Yeshuot Yaakov. Modern Hebrew, the ancient Afro-Shemitic pointing. Saweh Yeshuot Yaakov. Sawa, right? To command. Saweh, command, charge, give the order. Give the order for what? The Yeshuot. So here it says deliverances, plural, because in the Hebrew it's Yeshuot. Yeshua, singular, Yeshuot, plural. So commands away the salvations, the victories, Yeshuot, Yaakov. Now the KJV says for Jacob. Well, that's a faulty translation there. There's no lamed. There's no lamed. The lamed has a prefix for of. There's none of that here, right? The salvations of, more correctly, the salvations of Yaakov. Yeshuot Yaakov. Saweh. Yeshuot Yaakov. Saweh. Yeshuot Yaakov. Saweh. 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 Yeshuot Yaakov. Command the salvations, the victories of Jacob. How interesting right here, the Torah reading and feeding here in the season as well. So this verse, how and why does this verse link right here? Let's scroll it back right here. Because while in the previous psalm to today's daily psalm, Psalm 45, right, we have 44 and 5 in the Hebrew, or 44 and 4. A 444, look at that. There we go. There's a good 444. All right. Someone will know. You know what we're about in that connection. I'll bring it down a little bit. Yeah. But here. This is addressed in prayer to Elohei Yisrael in the preceding psalm. The preceding psalm to the royal marriage psalm, the royal wedding psalm, the coronation of the conquering line of the tribe of Judah, the root of David, King of Kings of Ethiopia psalm. The preceding psalm is a national prayer of intercession, and within the words of the fourth verse, KJV wise, Atahu Malki Elohim. Away, Yeshuot, Yaakov, thou Thou art he. You be he. You be he. Malki, Malki, my Melech, Malki, Elohim, Elohim, creator, judge. This is addressed in tefillah and prayer to Elohei, to the Elohim of Yisrael, Elohei Yisrael. In this psalm, the person, as we mentioned, of the Melech, of the king, or the Negus, even Negus Neges, who is celebrated, is a matter, according to the scholars and the academics, both of past times and some of present time, although we have a revelation. All right? We had that revelation November 2nd, 1930. But let's go forward. The epistle to the Hebrews in Hebrews 1 and 8, Hebrews 1 and 8. But to the Son, he saith, thy throne, O Elohim, forever and ever, a scepter of righteousness, the scepter of thy kingdom, righteousness, rightness, straightness. Now, this right here also is found in today's daily psalm right here. So there from Hebrews, the epistle to the Hebrews, right, proceeded, right, in a targumistic sort of way, an interpretive way, on the assumption that it is the future Moshiach. So we look at the book of Hebrews 1 and 8, speaking of the future Christ, the future anointed, the future Moshiach, in the context of the Bain Elohim, the son of Elohim. Now, this is supported, right? It's supported in this view by the ancient Hebraic, Judaic trad and tradition of the ancient synagogue. In accordance with that, the Targum is like the interpret, right? The Targumus is the interpretation, the ancient Aramaic interpretations, right, of much of the matter that has come into, we say, the Brit Hadasha, the New Testament. Renders Psalm 45 and 3, right? Thy beauty, O King Messiah. Thy beauty, O King Messiah. Right here. Thy beauty, O King Messiah. Let's bring this out right here. Now, in the KJV, this verse, because the superscription is here, so therefore verse 3, where it says, thy beauty, O King Messiah, is greater than that of the children of men, Thy beauty, that would be verse 2. It'd be verse 2 in your Bibles, verse 2 in the KJV, verse 3 in the Hebrew. Let's bring that up. Let's see. Okay, they don't have these verses lined up here. Okay, here we go. We got it. All right. It says Yafita, like being more beautiful, being more Yafa, to be beautiful, right? Yafita, you are beautiful, right? Mi b'nei, from the sons of Adam, more than the sons of Adam. Yafita, mi b'nei Adama, hutzak achein, sifatoteka. Grace, right? Grace, chen, hutzak, poured, grace is poured, hutzak, chen, in, or by way of siftoteka, your lips. So grace is poured up on thy lips. Therefore, al kain, therefore, al kain, barakeka, right? Blessing thee male, blessing thee I, barakeka, blessing the I, Elohim, blessing the I, li olam, forever, till time indefinite. Bringing out this verse, this key verse right here. Yafi yafita mi b'nei adam, hutzaka chena bi sifatoteka, al kain barakeka Elohim li olam. So here, the grace, right? Grace. We have grace here. You are more beautiful. You are fairer, more beautiful, more attractive than the sons and the children of Adam. mi b'nei Adam, hutzaka chen. Chen, grace is poured, b'siftoteka, right? Grace is poured up on by way of your lips. By way of your lips is like a pouring out of grace. By way of your lips, the utterances, give us the teaching of his man. By way of your lips is the pouring out of grace. Hutzaka chena b'siftoteka, al kain, therefore, because of this, therefore, al kain, Barakaka Elohim, Elohim, the creator, right? The judge, the almighty power has blessed the I male, li olam, forever. So here, that verse there, in the reasoning among the sages and the scholars of Torah, is brought out by the Targumists in the Aramaic as thy beauty, O King Messiah. O King Messiah, Moshiach HaMelech, is greater, is what is greater than that of the Bnei Adam, than that of the children of Adam. This messianic interpretation, right, must be and is very, very ancient, right? So we know this both, right, from the evidence, right, as well as from the New Testament evidence, the Judaic evidence and New Testament evidence, right? And then it kind of connects some things like in Ezekiel 21, as we go into further study, Ezekiel 21:32, they refer back to Shiloh. So my Shiloh in this Shavuot, Shiloh, right? In Genesis 49:10, connected with the tribe of Yehuda, Judah. Here in this Torah portion, we have Yaakov, we have Yosef, right? We have Yehuda, right? And in Ezekiel, what do we have in Ezekiel here? Let's bring this out in the Anglit, right? In the English right now, right here, right? Here we go. Let's see. This is a verse over. There's a verse over. Let's see. Let's see. Thou shalt be fuel to the fire, thy blood. Okay, what's going on here? Hold on for a moment. Let me get this verse here. Okay. Yeah. You see the double numberings? I'm happy to have the double numbering. You see 21:35, right? 21:35, 21. So that basically means that we're actually going over, I think, into the next chapter. Look at that. You see that big verse right there? Verse 32, right? Then it breaks it down, the numbering in the Hebrew, how it's numbered in the Hebrew, but then in the English translation, we'll go over here, right? And let's bring out the English KJV, right? Let's see right here. Let me just check it. Give me one moment. Let me check this over here. Avla. Okay. Yeah. They got the numbering off. What I was thinking of actually was concerning. Remember where it has the two sticks when Israel will come together. Two sticks. It said one was for the house of Judah, and it said on the other one Joseph. Just kind of interesting, the Joseph, Judah, in the prophetic sense of the scripts. All right, but we'll get this verse, bring this verse out. But here refers back to Shiloh. So prophecy in Ezekiel, right? We have to look at the hard copy. Ezekiel 21:32, Genesis 49:10, right? El Gibor, right? And El Gibor. We have the name Shiloh, the one to whom it belongs, and El Gibor, right? Or one might say like Gibor El Gibor, the mighty, like the mighty God, right? Among the names of the Messiah, Moshiach, that we have in Yeshaya, in Isaiah, right? 9:5, Zechariah 12:8, also refers back in a similar manner, right? When we go to Zechariah 12:8, see if we can bring this out. 12:8, in a similar manner, referring to this psalm here, means more meme hey. Let's scroll down here. Where we? Let's get the English. In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble, he that is what? that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David. Kind of interesting. The language, right? Language. In that day shall Yahweh defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, shall be as David. And the house of David, the house of David, shall be as God. You read it right there, Zechariah, right? Did it say the house of David? So the feeble one in that day is going to be as David. And the house of David shall be as God. And then it goes on to say, as the angel, the malak of Yahweh before them. Now we went through here on the podcast, went through the testaments of Yehuda, Judah. You got to review Judah's testament as well as Joseph's testament. I think in Judah's testament is for the God, right? The God, and also mentioned the angel, right? The God and the angel is mentioned by Yehuda, right? In an eschatological or future prophetic of the testament of Judah. But here, just notice what the script says, Zechariah right here. This here, right, is said to point, Zechariah 12:8, to refer to this psalm, the coronation psalm, November 2nd, and the ancient royal marriage and wedding song, right? And whilst the reception of the Song of Songs into the canon admits of being understood even without the assumption of any prophetically allegorical meaning in it, the reception of this psalm, often this psalm is likened to like an abridgment. Like, so you take the book of Song of Songs, and if you were able to do like a short version of it, it would be, right, a bridge version would be this psalm. It would be Mizmor Mim Hey, Psalm 45, a royal marriage wedding psalm, the coronation of the King of Kings of Ethiopia, anointing and coronation psalm. So the reception of this psalm also is received, the Kabbalah, without any such assumption is unintelligible, right? But this prophetically messianic sense is therefore not the original meaning of the psalm. In other words, some things in their original meaning may have been taken different, but in prophecy, they need to be understood correctly. The psalm is a poem composed for some special occasion, and it's, as one who we study this in its original sense, right? Before the more prophetic sense, right? Coming forward, right? What was the original sense? Some special occasion. The motive of that is some event that was happening then. The king whom it celebrates was said by some to be a contemporary of the poet. Now the superscription says, upon Shoshanim, upon lilies, a psalm of the sons of Korah, Maskil, and it's called here a song of loves, right? The psalm is called a Shir Yedidot. Shir Yedidot. Remember that Shlomo, Solomon's name, right, was Yedidiah, Jedida. But here, this song is called a Shir song, Yedidot, a song of loves, a song of loves. So, if this is so, it must have been a king, some say belonging to the Davidic family. Then he was a possessor of a kingship to that, right, were attached, according to 2 Samuel chapter 7, right? Great promises extending based on 2 Samuel, 2 Shemuel chapter 7, great promises, yea, his yea and his amen, right? Yea, right? Extending into the unlimited future. That's why in the verse we read from 44 and 4 in the KJV, where it says Li Olam, right? Li Olam has blessed thee. Yeah, but Berakeka Elohim Li Olam. That Elohim has blessed thee, speaking to he, blessed thee Li Olam, forever, Hebraically to time out of mind to an indefinite time. And consequently hung all the prospects of the future prosperity and the glory of Yisrael. Earlier, we touched on the Belial and Belial and Hophni and Phineas and the breakdown of the Akei Becca tune, at least the Belial aspect. We went into Samuel and with Hannah, right? And the interesting connection right here of what we're reading here about the Ichabod, or to the Ichabod, no glory, right? So here, this psalm is connected with the prospects, right, of the future prosperity and the glory of Yisrael, right? And the poet here is of the sons of Korah, right? The B'nai Korah, right? So the poet here is therefore fully warranted in regarding him in the light of the messianic ideal, the messianic type, right? Hebraically, Judaically. Now, in the Brit Hadasha sense, as these ideas and these hopes and expectation moving forward, right, amongst the called out assembly, right, of Ha-Adon Yeshua, Ha-Moshiach, right, the true church and the professing church, is also fully warranted in referring the Psalm 45, that took its rise in some passing ancient occasion as a song for all ages to the great King of the future, the King of Kings, right? The goal of its hope, right? Moreover, we find only such poems of an occasional or an individual character received into the Psalms. Now, the Psalms, the book of Psalms, for lack of a better word, was like the liturgy. It's like the holy service of Yisrael. You know, as we can sing and chant together, even if we all can't speak together. So the book of Psalms was like not just a hymn book, but like the liturgy book of Yisrael. So these Psalms being in this book, they cause us to ask and study and seek, ask questions and to seek, the truth. As were adapted, as we get from the Hebraic, Judaic, many of these Psalms were adapted to remain in constant use by the church as what? In the same sense as they were for the Judahites and the Israelites, as prayers and as spiritual songs. Prayers and spiritual songs. With respect to the historical occasion of the psalm, we adhere, according to the notes here, to the conjecture advanced in our commentary. So that this is Kyle and Delich notes on Canticles. So the link of this psalm is with Song of Songs and the Epistle to the Hebrews, right? The Epistle to the Hebrews. There's some reasoning here, right, we can go into, but there's much more in this psalm. But due to the time that we have right here, let's pull this up like this. Go to the top. Let's go to the very top right here, right? First and second verse, Hebraically, to chief musician upon Shoshanim, for the sons of Korah, a maskil, a song of loves, a shir yedidot. My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of things that I have made touching the king. My tongue, the pen of a ready writer, is the opening of today's daily psalm. Maskil, here brought out as instruction, right? And here, my heart is inditing. Interesting word in the Hebrew, boileth, like bubbling up, like to say, my heart like bubbles up, like there's an inditing. It's an interesting Hebraic sense right here. But what's interesting about this part of the verse, right, in the liturgy of the true church, in the professing church, right, the church of he who had the keys of great King David, right, the Tawahido church, right, in the anaphora of Mardium, right, in the anaphora of Mary, the mother of our Lord, Yeshua HaMoshiach, this verse here is repeated 3 times there in the very opening of the anaphora of Mardium. Another interesting connection right there, as well as this being the coronation day psalm, the anointing and crowning psalm of the conquering line of the tribe of Judah, root of David, and Mahan Selassie. So we have this psalm right here. My heart is inditing. My heart, right, overfloweth This is one of the only place where the verb here in this verse actually occurs, right? The verb here, right? The word indicting, rahash, rahash, right? To keep moving, right? Keep moving, to stir, is stir it up, right? We say stir it up, right? So laminat al shoshani livnei korach maskil shir yedido rahash libi. My heart is rahash. My heart keeps moving. My heart is stirred up, right? My heart gushes, right? KJV translated as indict. Rahash libi, davar tov. My heart overfloweth. Rahash libi, my heart, right? Rahash overfloweth my heart. Dabar, a word, a matter, tov, a good matter, a good word, a good matter, a good thing. This is the only place where, right, the verb, and once again, rahash, and for indicting, occurs, right? A derivative noun, right? A derivative noun denotes from this root verb here, rahash, we have a derivative noun, right? Hebraically, that denotes a saucepan, like a saucepan. The root meaning is to boil, right? The root meaning of this is to boil, right? To boil, bubble up, right? So translate, my heart is stirred with a choice, a good subject. Rahash libi, dabar tov. Rahash libi, dabar tov. My heart is stirred up with a choice, tov, good, dabar, a good subject, a good word, a good matter, or with beautiful words, a good word. Rahash libi, dabar tov. Dabar tov. The singular noun, dabar, word, tov, good, being used collectively. So literally a good word, right? But in that good word, that good matter are good words, right? He cannot allow the happy occasion to pass without recording, right? The the inner vibes, the emotions that it aroused within him, right? Just to touch on this first verse right here. Rahash libi davar tov, Omer, Omer ani, right? I say, Omer ani, I say, Ma'asai limelech, I say that my work, Ma'asai is limelech. So it says, I speak of things that I have made touching the king. It doesn't really say touching, no touching the king, right? It says Omer Ani, Omer Ani, Omer saying, Ani, I say, right? Omer Ani Masai Limelech, Masai, my work, right? Here. So see, this is not the verb, right? This is not the verb, right? They translate this falsely. It says, the things that I have made. They translate the I have made as though it's a verb, but actually it's not asa, it is ma'ase, which is the noun from the verb asa, right? The work, the deed. And here in the manuscript, it's ma'asai, right? Not just a work, a deed, but my work, my deed, my business, my undertaking, the thing I'm doing, I'm getting done, right? Ma'asai, li is for, it's of melech. It is of the melech, li melech, right? So second part right here, you can interpret this as my poem, the composition right here, right? Which etymologically, right, the work means work, my work, right? Putting in that work for the king. Rahash libi dabar tov, Omer ani ma'asai limelech, right? Last part of the verse right here, right? It says here, my tongue, the pen of a ready writer. Now remember we had some notes right here, ready writer, right? So here the instruction, my skill, and here indicting, here Hebraically boil up, bubble up, let's do this right here. Let's do this right here so we can scroll and show the Hebrew and the English translation and maybe some translation at the same time. So here we go right here. Let's get it right here, right? So the first, second, and third, this verse here, right, has like three parts. My heart is inditing a good matter, right? I speak of things that I have made touching the king, or I speak, right? I speak my work of the king, for the king, right? Last part, my tongue, the pen of a ready writer. Lishoni, 8, Sophia, Mahir. Lishoni, my tongue, 8, like a pen, 8, Sophia, the pen of a writer, 8, Sophia, Mahir, swift. My tongue, the pen of a writer swift, the pen of a swift writer. Here to the Hebrew, right here. Let's bring it down here and see how some of the others brought it out. My heart is stirred by a beautiful song. Doesn't say song, but you get the idea. I say I've composed a special song for the king. My tongue is as skilled as the stylus of an experienced scribe, right? My heart overflows with a noble theme, right? A good word, Rahash Libi, Devar Tov. I recite, here they bring out the sentence, I recite my verses for the king, but the Hebraic of it is Omer Ani, I say my sign, I say my work, Liv Melech. And that could be a recitation. You know, hey, king, this is what I composed. Speak on it. Say your work for the king. My tongue, therefore, bringing it to the third part of the verse, my tongue is like the pen, right, of a skillful writer. The Hebrew, Lishoni 8, Sophia Mahir. My tongue, Lishoni 8, a stylus, like the pen, the reed, right? The reed of a swift scribe, the reed of a speedy scribe. So what is not really brought out in translation is this word mahir, right? Quick, prompt, right? A quick scribe, a skillful scribe is a scribe that could, do it quickly, basically. You know what I mean? Quick, skillful, right? But literally it's speed, doing with speed right here. So my tongue, right? Better in the Hebraic sense, Lishoni 8 Sophia, 8 Sophia Mahir. It's not just my tongue, but the spirit of it is like, may my tongue, right, be like almost like somebody's about to compose something or bring it forward. Well, may my tongue, Lishoni 8 Sophia Mahir, may my tongue be like the pen, the reed, the writing instrument of a quick scribe, right? May he prove worthy of a so glorious a subject and a well presentation of that subject. So here, just a couple of words right here. Today's daily psalm. Looking at the time, not to hold you. Right here. But today's daily psalm right here, Coronation Day Psalm. Check out the fuller build. If you go through the playlist, there's, when the psalm come up, sometimes we go into a full. But right here. Today's daily psalm.
Psalm 45.
מזמור מ"ה. למנצח על שושנים לבני קורח, משכיל שיר ידידו, 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 שיר ידידו.
Psalm 45.
I went through that right there, and I really wanted to bring this forward to you, just to zoom in on this right here. Observations here. This is a royal marriage song. This is the wedding song. You can say marriage, wedding / wedding, right? People kind of think they're the same thing. They're not really, but royal marriage song, a wedding song, and a military song. So here, when we observe this psalm here, Psalm 45, royal marriage psalm, we have both a wedding song and a military song. In verses 1 to 9, praises are heaped upon this warrior, this Gibor, this warrior, like a warrior king in the cause, this warrior, not just a warrior just for war's sake, but this is a warrior, a Gibor, a mighty, a strong one in the cause of truth, in the cause of humility, in the cause of majesty. May he have great victories. Verses like 1 to 9, this section, just a kind of an overview summary. For he loves, why should he have victories? Because he loves righteousness and hates wickedness and hates ratchetness. Verses 10 to 17, there's an appeal to the daughter, right? To a daughter to enthrall the king by her beauty and to be brought into the king's palace with joy and gladness. And as we seal it up, and the nations will praise this king forever and ever. And this is an interesting couple here, right? Almost like a power couple, the king and the queen. Weep not, behold. Obviously, also it's messianic. Now, this song prepares us, as many ones within the Brit Chadash and the Christian faith will bring out, prepare us, right, for that day when Ha'adon Yeshua, the Lord Jesus, will be recognized for who he is, he be, who he be. So right here, bring this forward on the pure joy, rhythm. Ah.
Psalm 45.
מזמור מ"ה. למנצח על שושנים לבני קורח, משכיל שיר ידידו, 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 שיר ידידו.
My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. Thou art fairer than the children of men. Grace is poured into thy lips. Therefore God hath blessed thee forever. Gird thy sword upon thy thigh, O most mighty, with thy glory and thy majesty. And in thy majesty ride prosperously, because of truth and meekness and righteousness. And thy right hand shall teach thee terrible things. Thine arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemies, whereby the people fall under thee. Thy throne, O God, is forever and ever. The scepter of thy kingdom is a right scepter. Thou lovest righteousness and hatest wickedness. Therefore God, thy God, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows. All thy garments smell of myrrh and aloes and cassia out of the ivory palaces, whereby they have made thee glad. King's daughters were among thy honorable women. Upon thy right hand did stand the queen in gold of Ophir. Hearken, O daughter, and consider, and incline thine ear. Forget also thine own people and thy father's house. So shall the king greatly desire thy beauty, for he is thy Lord, and worship thou him. And the daughter of Tyre shall be there with a gift. Even the rich among the people shall entreat thy favor. The king's daughter is all glorious within. Her clothing is of wrought gold. She shall be brought unto the king in raiments of needlework. The virgins, her companions that follow her, shall be brought unto thee. With gladness and rejoicing shall they be brought. They shall enter into the king's palace. Instead of thy fathers shall be thy children, whom thou mayest make princes in all the earth. I will make thy name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore shall the people praise thee forever and ever.
Yeah, brothers and sisters. Right here. Coronation Psalm 45. Here the outro. The Hebrew, pure joy. It's a pure joy. It's been pure joy. Sure shalom, y'all.
מזמור מ"ה למנצח על שושנים לבני קורח משכיל שיר ידידות. רחש ליבי דבר טוב, אומר אני מעשי למלך, לשוני עת סופר מהיר. יפית מבני אדם, הוצת חן בשפתותיך, על כן ברכך אלוהים לעולם. חגור חרבך על ירך גיבור, הודך והדרך, והדרך צלח רחב, על דבר אמת וענוות צדק, ותורך נוראות ימיניך. חיציך שנונים, עמים תחתיך יפלו, בלב אויבי המלך. כסאך אלוהים עולם ועד, שבט מישור שבט מלכותך. אהבת צדק ותשנא רשע, על כן משחך אלוהים אלוהיך, שמן ששון מחבריך. מור ואהלות כציעות כל בגדותיך, מן החלשן מיני שמחוך. בנות מלכים בקרותיך, ניצבה שגל לימינך בכתם אופיר. שמעי בת וראי והטי אוזנך, ושכחי עמך ובית אביך. ויתאב המלך יופייך, כי הוא אדונייך, והשתחווי לו. ובצור במנחה, פנייך יחלו עשירי עם. כל כבודה בת מלך פנימה, ממשבצות זהב לבושה. לרקמות תובל למלך, בתולות אחריה רעותיה. מובאות לך, תובלנה בשמחות בגיל, תבואנה בהיכל מלך. תחת אבותיך יהיו בניך, תשיתמו לשרים בכל הארץ. אזכיר שמך בכל דור ודור, על כן עמים יהודוך לעולם ועד.
And when they were come in, they went up into an upper room. They went up into an upper room.
For his foundation is in all the mountains. Lord God loved the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. Glorious things are spoken of the old city of God, Selah. I must make mention of Rahab and Babylon, and to them that know I hold for this the entire with Ethiopia, this man was born there. Christ himself shall establish her, as well as the singers, and the players upon instruments shall be there. All my springs are there. Lord God Rastafari highly Selassie the first shall come. When he writeth up the people that this man was born there. In the society of the rich and the poor and the law. In the society of the rich and the poor and the law. Man, I heal the I-90, the I-Lake Donja. Heal the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. Heal the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. We are in the society of the rich and the poor and the law. Man, I heal the I-90, the I-Lake Donja. Heal the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lion of Judah Society.
Lion of Judah shall break every chain.